'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. 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 You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now. Casting on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping.
There are only a few seconds to close this round. A headshot. Nice. Fist bumps go to the teammates.
I wanna hear your go, go, go. Make them feel your smashing flow. Sweep the ground. Rise to fame. Hold the ground.
Very much. They play, you win.
Hello, and welcome back to the Epic League CIS RMR. We have got a hell of a match ahead, in which we're going to see if Na'Vi are going to be able to prevail. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. Of course, Na'Vi, a team that have been on a tear recently, of course, beating Gambit 3-0 in what has been a complete battle for rank 1 in the world. And, well, after that initial best of 5, I think they do actually have a bit of a chance to hit that number 1 in the world spot. Of course, though, their opponents, BankaPEPSI, the old Hellraisers lineup, really strong team. And honestly, Josh, I'm rooting for a bit of an upset here.
You know, I kind of feel they're a little bit too. We saw Na'Vi the other day. They were good, but they weren't at their best form. Bearing in mind that they're such a strong team, I was a little bit surprised by it, especially considering Hellraisers right now. They got rid of JR. When they got rid of JR, I was a little bit upset. I was like, I like JR, but they brought in C Power, who is absolutely nuts. So I'm excited to see how he does on that roster. We've got the vetoes ready for you folks, so we'll jump into them right now. And, well, we'll see what maps these guys pick into. I'm more interested in what BankaPEPSI actually pick into, because realistically, we know Na'Vi's map pool. We know that Na'Vi are really good on pretty much any map and should realistically be able to beat BankaPEPSI on pretty much any map. However, from what I'm looking at right now, if BankaPEPSI could maybe push them onto a train, if they could... I don't know. Here's the thing, right? All of Banka's best maps are Na'Vi's best maps. And then the other maps, Banka are terrible on. Inferno, 17% across 12 maps. That's horrendous. They've never won Mirage. They've never won Vertigo. They definitely can't pick into some of Na'Vi's weaker maps. So we're just going to have to wait and see what we go for here. We do actually have the veto ready for you now. So let's have a quick switcheroo to this one.
Of course, first ban being Overpass. Of course, it's the insta ban for BankaPEPSI. This is no surprise. My worry with BankaPEPSI, though, Overpass is actually one of Na'Vi's worst maps, so being able to pick it against them would have been great. Unfortunately, just the way insta vetoes work, it just doesn't favour them. Of course, follow-up is ban of Vertigo from Na'Vi. Again, no surprises here. These are insta vetoes from either side. Let's see where Banka pick. I assume it'll be a train. I think it's safe to assume it'll be a train. That it is, they pick into trade. It's the only map where, at least statistically, they have an advantage over Na'Vi, and of course, if you take into account context caliber, it really isn't that much of an advantage, but it's where we'll see it. We'll see them at their closest with this. Of course, follow-up pick is going to be Dust 2, of course, Na'Vi's best map by not quite head and shoulders, but one they definitely enjoy playing. And our final bans will consist, at least from BankaPEPSI, will be a minus of Mirage. Of course, Inferno's still in the pool here, which is, fortunately for Banka, that is something to fear. With Mirage being taken out, Na'Vi, where do they choose to lean? Looks like it will be a nuke as our decider map, and that's interesting, isn't it? I'm feeling a 2-1 for Na'Vi here, Josh.
I'm actually kind of interested that Na'Vi ban out Inferno, considering how bad BankaPEPSI have been on Inferno recently. But it makes sense. Nuke is literally one of Na'Vi's best maps. So it's kind of a good ban there. Go into that Nuke third and final. It's interesting, though, isn't it? You kind of look at these recent results. You say, yeah, Banka, they've been able to push themselves onto their statistically best map. However, even though it's a map that Na'Vi don't play too much, they've got 3 results in it in the last 3 months, right? The most recent of which, and I'd say the only relevant of which, was against Gambit, where they managed to win quite convincingly. I think it was about 16-8. They're the best team in the world, folks. So I think if you're BankaPEPSI, you're looking at it right now, you're saying, oh, yeah, statistically, in terms of percentage, we're doing better here on Train. But I don't think that really counts for too much when your opponents are able to beat Gambit on it. So we'll see how that one pans out. Of course, that first map being a real stronghold one for Na'Vi, and you touched upon it there as well. And this is the power of playing 7 maps instead of playing 6 maps. Na'Vi having Vertigo as their permaban actually meant that if Banka were good on Overpass, they could have picked Overpass, and they could have had a real advantage there on Overpass because Na'Vi aren't very good on Overpass. So that could have been Banka's opportunity to say, right, they're going to permaban Vertigo, so we can pick into their worst map. But unfortunately, that's Banka's permaban as well. In fact, Banka kind of have a couple of permabans here. They certainly don't want to play Mirage. They certainly don't want to play Overpass. They certainly don't want to play Vertigo. And they don't really want to play Inferno either. But I suppose it's slightly better than the others. I don't know. We've literally seen them play Vertigo 5 times in the last 3 months. They've never won it. We've seen them play Mirage 3 times in the last 3 months. They've never won it. They don't play Overpass at all. And then when it comes down to that Inferno, I mean, that is horrific. They've played it 12 times. They've won it, what, twice?
Here's the thing as well. I'm looking at their previous games, and while BankaPEPSI, don't get me wrong, they've been winning some games against some teams that have also been in this tournament. You know, victory against In-Game, 2-1, respectable scoreline, very good stuff from them, but here's the thing. These are opponents which they should be beating anyway, as a standard, rather than that being one of their outlying results. Yeah, they've lost to 100 ping gods. Granted, it was a best of 1, so it doesn't matter too much. But with the further back we go, the more worried I feel for them. Losses to alternate attacks, to be Vikings, Apex, and yeah, they went on a massive loss streak when they first kind of hit HLTV. The only result here where I look at and I kind of feel invigorated with hope is a 2-1 victory against Fate. But this was a Fate without Han, a Fate without 2 of their main hitters. Yeah. So they were already crippled at that point anyway. I don't know, Josh. I'm trying to find a silver lining or a world in which they actually beat Na'Vi here. I think winning a map would be great for them. Yeah. I don't know if they can win the series, though.
I don't think they can win the series either. Now, remember, this is a Swiss stage, so both of these teams are on a 1-1 record. And do you know what? I'm going to rub this in a little bit right now. Do you remember last night when I looked at HLTV, I saw the Na'Vi Entropic matchup, and I said to you, Entropic are going to beat Na'Vi. I said Entropic are the new #1 team in the world. I'm telling you, Entropic are going to be top 5 in the world. Take it from me right now. Top 5 in the world, 3 months' time. I guarantee it.
Where are they now?
And yeah, I said Entropic are going to beat Na'Vi. And you said, yeah, do you know what? I see that happening. They 2-0'd them. They're on an absolute tear. These guys are nuts. And they really, really are proving it and taking head. So that's pushed Na'Vi into this 1-1 section, where BankaPEPSI also in that position, having beaten In-Game as well. So they lost 1 to Spirit, no real surprise there. I don't really ever see them beating Spirit, to be honest. And then, yeah, they took that game against In-Game. That was 2-1. Now, the game against Spirit the other day went 16-8 and 16-7. So very, very one-sided stuff. However, we did see Inferno and Dust 2 in that pool, which we're not going to see the Inferno this time around. And my brain's farting a little bit. We do actually see Dust 2. Na'Vi's picked into Dust 2. So we'll see Dust 2 again. As I said, BankaPEPSI once you wrote on the other day, but we're not going to see Inferno again, which I'm quite glad about.
Strictly speaking, this is the best veto BankaPEPSI could have hoped for.
It is, yeah.
These are the only 3 maps on which they could put up a fighting chance.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, against Na'Vi, I feel any other team in the 1-1 bracket, they'd have had a really good chance again. Against Na'Vi, though, I just don't see it happening, Josh. I'm sorry, but I think Na'Vi, when we last saw them, they were playing pretty badly, and they still won that game. I think that here is just going to be a bit of a whitewash.
Na'Vi have definitely lost the veto here. And I think that it's almost quite comical to look. When you look at Banka's map pool and you say 3 of the 7 maps, they've never won. And one of them, they have a terrible, terrible win rate on. And the fact that they've been able to dodge all 4 of them and play on 3 maps that they're actually relatively competent on is pretty impressive. And bearing in mind, Na'Vi have such a strong map pool across the board, the fact that Na'Vi haven't taken advantage of that and actually been able to capitalize on that and pick into a map that Banka don't play is a little bit of a bizarre one as well. But either way, I think that they're definitely your firm favorites. I really don't see a world in which Banka take this series. I do see a world in which they win Train, possibly. We'll have to wait and see about that one. I'm not too confident with that prediction, but if they're able to get off to a good start on their T side, maybe they rack up a few rounds, then there's a small glimmer of hope there for them. But we'll have to wait and see. We will just have to wait and see. I think hopefully we'll be getting into the game momentarily, and that's where all of our predictions will probably go out the window because we're terrible at this. And if we were good at it, we'd be analysts. But we're not. We're not analysts.
Camera, guys.
And we're not production people either.
No, we're not production people either. I saw that timer in the top left. I was thinking, please go to go, please go to go, please go to go. we didn't, but well, we were able to quickly fix. And here's the thing: you spoke about how BankaPEPSI have won this veto. Strictly speaking, Na'Vi have won it as well. These are their 3 best maps.
Yeah.
So this isn't really a loss for Na'Vi.
I suppose not. Yeah, I suppose not. But I mean, they could have just capitalized on the fact that Banka have like a really terrible map board.
That's true. They do.
But yeah, folks, I have a DSLR camera, and it turns off after 30 minutes. Now, I know we haven't been here for 30 minutes, but let's turn the camera on, get ready for the pre-game, and we don't normally have to fill for this long. So, let's see what you lovely folk in the chat are saying.
Yeah, I suppose we do have we spoke about the veto, spoke about the team, spoke about the form, spoke about the previous matchups, and
so now it's podcast stuff. Someone just said M&J. Hey, that's me.
That's you. It's Na'Vi's 3 best maps. Yeah,
it is Na'Vi's 3 best maps. Yeah. You are right on that one. Like yeah, people are kind of criticizing a little bit. Na'Vi lost veto. Maybe not. Maybe you're right there. They maybe haven't lost the veto necessarily, but I just mean, as I said before, they really could have capitalized on the fact that BankaPEPSI have an absolutely terrible map pool, and they haven't capitalized on that at all. They haven't actually picked into any of Banka's bad maps, and they're in a position where they are going to have to play against this team. Okay, statistically they are much worse, but they're competent on these maps, so I think we'll see. But yeah. All right, I'm getting stick about that one. Maybe I should just shut up. I'm not a coach. I'm not an analyst, so I'll just sit back. It's just the same guy saying it over and over again, so we'll just bin it off.
Something is a good question, which you guys can answer as well. I think the delay's not too bad actually, but do you see Na'Vi losing the first map? Do you see them losing Train, or do you see BankaPEPSI kind of pulling it back, or is it just not enough?
I don't see them losing Train. I think it could happen. By the fact that it is Banka's best map, I think.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, I think they're in a position where they definitely could take it. They're going to have a hell of a game. Like there's no doubt about the fact that they're going to have a hell of a game. They're going to have a hell of a T side. I think they could definitely win it. But I don't see much chance of that. There's this little slither. There's this little like 10-20% where I say, yeah, do you know what? If they come into this one good, then they certainly could. I think that obviously we covered the Akuma Gambit game the other day. Yep. That was one where I think that it was like a really good example of one of these teams that just comes out of nowhere and really surprised us. Over on Mirage, they took Gambit to double OT. No one was expecting that at all. And I think that there's maybe a chance for that again today. And that's kind of why I love these RMR events. I know a lot of people have been criticizing the RMR events recently, basically saying that these tier 1 teams should just get like Insta invites to majors, and we shouldn't be seeing like first and second in the world having to play against like top 50 teams to try and... Oh, yeah, people are commenting on that. That's brilliant.
They remember our Akuma game. That's great. 3-hour series.
But yeah, people are kind of saying like they don't think that these sort of top 1, 2, 3 teams in the world should have to play against like top 50 teams to try and get these RMR points. To a degree, I do understand that. I really do understand where they're coming from, and I agree to some extent. But I also think it's fantastic that these teams that people don't really consider as being able to beat those top sides and don't really get too much limelight are actually given the opportunity to do so. And I think Akuma the other day really showed us that they are a force to be reckoned with, and they are a side that with a little more practice and a little more time could definitely make it into the top 30 and could be a future contender, especially considering their players are very young. They are quite a young team.
And to go that close against Gambit as
exactly,
well.
Exactly.
While being DDoSed. That was a long series.
That was a hell of a series.
I'm glad people recognised that.
It shows that we have recurring viewers and stuff.
The guys who had that long series. Someone said they like my suit. I see very happy. When's the game starting? That's a really good question.
Yeah, we don't know.
When is the game starting?
The thing is, I know that, like, obviously as a viewer, you don't have too much insight on how all of this stuff works. We have absolutely no control over when the game starts. We're not sitting here chatting and pausing the game. The players aren't sitting there in the server saying, when are these casters going to shut up?
Shut up? Yeah,
exactly. That's not happening. We're waiting for all of the players to connect before we can get into the game. So honestly, we have no ETA. We're waiting on one player, and I don't know who it is, but you can get angry at him.
I wish we could name and shame.
I wish we could name and shame as well.
Great.
But yeah, don't get angry at me, get angry at him. Hopefully we'll be able to kick things off very, very shortly, and we'll go from there.
How's everyone doing? How's your day been, Josh? You viewed a house recently, didn't you?
I'm all right. I viewed my new house. You know, I can pick up the keys tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it?
That's pretty good.
It's really cool.
That's nice. Yeah. How nice house?
It's a nice house. It's a nice house. It's a bungalow. It's lovely.
Ooh, can't go wrong with a bungalow.
Can't go wrong with a bungalow.
Yeah.
We know what player we're waiting on as well. Do we name and shame?
I mean, I'm down to. This production that they're giving us the permission to.
I think we have permission, but the fact they've told us is perfecto. Yeah,
perfecto. Goddamn perfecto. Playing the whole thing.
I'm sure he's got a good reason. Maybe he's just scared to get in the server with Navi.
Yeah. What, excited or?
No, scared to get in the server with Navi. I would be. I'd be like, geez, man, I don't want to play this game. Somebody else play it.
Yeah, I mean, I have to see. Again, we got XTC in the stream for this. There's always someone who mentions that, isn't there?
There's always someone. I love it, though. I love it. But yeah, people talking about our 3-hour fill the other day. That was actually a lot of fun.
That was surprising because usually we're fatigued after that.
Yeah, but ordinarily with a 3-hour pause like that, I would be sitting here molding. I would be like, man, this is not okay. But no, I actually really enjoyed that. Everyone in the chat, you guys kind of kept that one going. You were quite fun to be around. Really nice. Yeah, the Akuma fans
were great.
Really, really lovely people. They were nice to be around. So we kind of sat there and we just had a little kind of podcast session with you guys. And that was really good fun. Is
this an RMR event? Yes, it is.
It is. Yeah. RMR points. So, top teams in this one. I can't remember the distribution of it. I think it's top 8 get the RMR points. We can just have a quick look now. They'll obviously count towards the CIS major and all of that. Not CIS, but the CIS bracket for the major points. And it's top 8. So 7th, 8th get 950 points. 5th, 6th get 1150. 4th gets 1300. 3rd gets 1400. 2nd gets 1500, and then first place gets 1600 RMR points, which is quite a tasty amount. It's
$15,000 as well.
Yeah, and $15,000 for first place. Yeah. Now, when you actually look at the total points, you realize that this is a great big chunk.
Big one.
This is a huge chunk. In fact, first place is actually more points than any of the teams have right now. Now, obviously, they've had a few of their deductions from having. Now, you get deductions for anyone that doesn't know. If you have any roster changes, there are rules. I'm not 100% sure how many points you lose. I think it's 60 per player. I'm not 100% confident on that though, so if anyone in the chat knows, then let me know. But yeah, if you have any roster changes or anything like that, then you get deductions there. Currently on the CIS table, there's a Spada with 60, Virtus Pro with 100, Namiga with 240, Navi with 480, Forza with 950, and then Team Spirit right at the top with 1,430. So what Gambit are looking to do here is Gambit are looking to put themselves on the board because they're not actually currently on the board. Navi are looking to push themselves and secure their position a little bit further. So were Team Spirit and Forza, and a couple of the newer contenders with the likes of kind of
Trident,
Entropic, Entropic, Trident, but Entropic especially. Entropic are looking to take a top placing here so that they can push themselves up the top of the ladder as well, so that they can qualify for the major. Because I think it's top 3 in CIS actually qualify for the major, and I think that they could definitely put themselves here if they. I think if they can take one of the top 4 slots in this tournament, then I think they could definitely solidify themselves with the top placing at the ladder. Someone said I'm cute. Thank you very much, Fire.
That's really nice.
I love it. I appreciate it.
Can we start? I mean,
we're ready. We're ready to start.
Are we? We're ready to start. Is that best from production? Right.
Hey, let's
We're going
go.
to get things underway, of course, as Navi look to take on BankaPEPSI. Map 1 being train. Let's get it underway.
That was smooth. Oh, we're paused. Ah,
Oh,
so anticlimactic.
God! we just brace it up, hype it up, and go straight into a pause. Oh, no. Well, back to talking to you guys.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, someone's just asked a good question. How much RMR is required for a major spot? So I don't think there's actually
It's
set
a
amount.
leaderboard. So
it's literally a leaderboard. So I just read out all of the numbers on the leaderboard. It's basically whoever finishes in the top 3 of the leaderboard qualify
top 5,
as...
actually.
So, yeah, so it's top 2 qualifies as a legend, 3rd qualifies as a challenger, and then 4th and 5th qualify as a contender. So it is, yeah, you're right. It is technically top 5. But obviously you want that legend status. A contender status puts you in a weird position. I'm not 100% sure. I really can't remember how it works. We've never casted a major before, so I've never paid too much attention to it. But I think it puts you in some kind of weird bracket position or something. It gives you like a low seed. So we should be getting into this one shortly. I love
Ethan thinks you're cute as well.
Ah, see, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Nice of him.
I appreciate it. I apprate it.
You're a
Boost
cute
my
guy, Josh.
self-esteem,
Yeah,
boost my ego. It's fantastic.
I was going, why is MJ so cute? Do you want to answer that?
I don't know. I actually don't do anything. I don't do any skincare or anything. I just wake up looking like this. Yeah.
So I guess the magic house. That we are, and look at that, Josh. We're in game. Navi versus BankaPEPSI. Getting into this pistol round. Let's get things underway, and let's see who's able to triumph moving into this first round of our first series of the day.
Well, it's electronic. This Bianca, the lone man to defend this bomb site, and he's playing it in quite an interesting hybrid way. He needs to be very careful of anyone shift walking up his at heaven angle. But for now, it's a nice off angle, and he knows that anyone that takes any contact will be pushing down ramp first. So he can prioritize that one. Bit finding that opening headshot here over towards the A site, though. They're trying to wriggle their way onto the A site, but Bit's going to deny it.
All on Z-Power, 1v3. The AWP of Banka. He does have his favoured weapon in hand, but with players on all angles, getting off this site is going to be difficult, and if he can get off this site, will he even be able to hold it? No, he won't. Bits, quick kill, quick clean up, and for Na'Vi, that'll be 8. And 8-3. I think for Banka, this is where, luckily the bomb plant means that they can bite something into the next round, but it may not be much, and with circa 4k on every member, they go for AKs with limited util, or they go for pistols armor with enough util to execute. From the looks of things, it's going to be a buy down to 2k.
Well, 8-3. We'll see a bit of a force here from Banka. Tech9s. Mac 10s come out around Lime's AK-47. C-Power just down to that Desert Eagle. He's trying to save a little bit of money. He wants that AWP in the next. Lime may be overinvested a little bit into this one. Everybody else will have the cash to buy going into the 13th, and he won't. He'll be a little bit strapped for cash. So he needs to make sure that either he goes huge here or he saves that weapon. As we go 1-for-1 early on, though, they'll be able to get onto this B site and get the plant at the very least. The Simple gets mollied off. That's going to give them further time, further space to work with, and now a pretty even round.
Aggression in the backline from Z-Power. He's Perfecto. Perfecto doubling down, puts all the pressure onto Lime now. The flash lands just above him, but it won't matter. Perfecto with 3, on for the 4th as Lin's left alone in a 1v4 with a single Mac 10 to his name. Sure, the bomb's down, sure it's something to defend, but the second that bomb's out, the second he swings, he'll be swinging to his death. He knows that, and as he peeks out, there's Simple to finish the job. Na'Vi with 9 and Banka with an investment this round to try and find something to topple these Ukrainian giants, or Russian giants, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we go 9-3, folks. There's going to be a little quick tactical timeout here from BankaPEPSI, and I don't blame them, to be honest. It's a time where they've got the money to go for a full investment. Off of the back of getting the bomb plant, Lime can actually buy. I was a little bit worried for him last round, having invested into that AK. Of course, he has got that max loss bonus, but without getting a kill or two and without getting that bomb plant, he wouldn't have been able to buy here. Luckily, he did get a couple of kills. The plant did go down, so he did have about 4,200. So he has got enough to go for the AK. He's got a smoke and a flash behind him too. But Banka really need to rework something. In these last couple of rounds, they've not had a lot of success. We went back and forth at the start. They were looking really good. Since that point, we really haven't seen a lot from them. And Na'Vi have just taken control. It's been Simple and Electronic. It's been those two guys just absolutely going stellar. And I don't see them slowing down anytime soon.
Well, Simple missed shot out of main. Instead, the aggression from Kalinka tries to trade it just on Blue Train. Missed opportunity, but it's recovered with a kill onto Perfecto. Lime on Boomich leaves us in a 5-on-3. With damage onto Lin, it makes it very doable for the remaining members of Na'Vi, but they need these kills and they need them quick. As Banka, with this 2-man advantage, the likelihood is, no matter where they attack, they're going to be outnumbering their opponents here. And by quite a bit as well, because Na'Vi, with Electronic all the way on B, it's going to be a 5-on-2 if they hit A, 5-on-1 if they try to duel Electronic, who has no choice but to take the forwarded angle, and instead, it's Banka who go quiet. They're instead expecting aggression from Na'Vi, and while it would be the right call for them, they haven't committed anywhere yet, and instead, we see the odd smoke get thrown over to A. They should spur on an execution, and as they leave main, on E-Box, what damage can Simple do? AK in hand, spots out the first, tries to double down, able to do that with Simple. It's Electronic to cover him to the left, and just like that, Electronic, 2 for each members, and for Bits in IV, he catches out Kalinka. They turn a 5v3 to a 3-man victory. Na'Vi, beautiful comeuppance to leave Banka reeling on the repartee, as Na'Vi, well, that's a way to recover.
It really is, yeah. 10-3. Do you know what? BankaPEPSI, they're on their T side. So they're not looking for too many rounds, realistically. The issue is the fact that they don't have a huge amount of cash right now. They're coming into this one. Okay, they've got the max loss bonus, so they've got the AKs. But there's limited utility on a couple of these guys. There's no AWP available. Lime's had to go down to just the Kevlar with no helmet. And they can't afford to lose any more at this point. 5-6 rounds is sufficient, but 2, 3, in fact, there's no chance of getting 2, but 3 rounds, probably not. As Boomich finds himself 1, he is instantly traded. but this is such an important round for BankaPEPSI to make. Realistically, they need to win the next 2 if they want a shot here. I'm not sure if I see it happening. Lime, he's got himself out to E-Box. Bit getting nice and aggressive here in Ivy, though. And this is a dangerous game to be playing. He's got an AWP, but he's going aggressive with a P250. It's madness. Eventually he falls away from it, though.
Bold, to say the least. Simple exchanging blows with Kalinka. And there's Bit. He switches to the AWP in the nick of time to get that kill. Problem, though, is been able to aggress in B. He's been able to go straight into the back line as he aggresses to the other side of Oil. And as he does so, Simple may not even begin to expect Problem to be here. Problem, while it's messy, is able to trade, and in a 2-on-2, Banka, now with the plants and with backlines control, this gets even easier for them. Kalinka, though, HP definitely can be exploited, but will that exploitation come? Instead, Electronic expects the aggression. Kalinka first to fall. Problem, unable to trade in upper. But Electronic, who takes his time with this aggression, is able to survive as Problem gives his position away, finished off by Bit. And Na'Vi, they just seem to have the perfect response to everything Banka even begin to attempt.
If Problem wins that duel there on ramp, he's got a good shot of that round. With the bomb down, a 1v1, the last man's in connector with an AWP. Yeah, he has a real good shot there. But without it, there's no chance. Electronic actually just delaying that defuse a little bit, allowing Bit to go and find himself some util to carry across into the next round. And they're going to make it 11-3. Frankly, it doesn't matter. Bit's on 14k. And well, I think actually he's gone and swapped out for an AK-47. With that much money, he'll go pick up that AK. He'll drop it to somebody else. He'll buy himself another AWP because he's got more than enough cash to do so. Simple will pick up that other one as well. In fact, Simple goes for an auto sniper. It's just BM at this point.
I love it.
I'm interested to see what he can do with this.
I really hope that he's able to do something flashy, something cool, something unorthodox. I suppose buying it's unorthodox, but maybe even some hybrid angle we haven't even heard of yet. And of course, when we speak about teams, we speak about how the furthest 2 teams can be apart, while the game's still being winnable, is 11-4. Banka haven't hit that yet. They desperately need this round, and luckily, they've got the weapons to do so. The utility, it's lacking around the edges. Only one piece of aggressive utility being that Molly on Problem. Other than that is flashes and smokes, which fortunately don't kill Na'Vi. Instead, it just blinds and distracts them. As Perfecto, with that Molly in main, it has a bit of a default, should try to deter Banka from doing anything too aggressive too quickly.
And the reason that there's that 12-3 benchmark there isn't just because it's a random number that you've come up with. It's because it all then falls down to the pistol round. If you end up having a 12-3 half and then you lose the pistol, that's it. It's GG. Your opponents can get onto map point off the back of the pistol. But right now, it's looking like they might be able to make this 4. Electronic doesn't spot C-Power go up on top of the green train, and C-Power is able to finish things off. Lime is actually having a pretty good match right now. He's going 13-13. No one else on his team really outputting that kind of damage, though. And on the other side of things, it's still the Simple and Electronic show, as Na'Vi take it 11-4. Absolutely fantastic half from them.
Really strong half, actually. And while they do actually get decimated in that final half, it was just a Banka just running into them and just killing them. There was no real response. And because of that, they have no chance to build on that momentum. At 11-4, everyone's reset straight into the pistol round. Na'Vi with a bit of utility to go into this. And unfortunately for the members of Banka, they go arm around the board with just that kit and smoke over on Lin.
Well, I hope to see these parry match odds soon, because I imagine that they'll be fairly one-sided. Na'Vi now moving over to their T side. But remember, folks, if you do want to place a bet on this game, check that parry match banner down below, get that first-time deposit bonus, and well, see if you can make some money. Maybe BankaPEPSI can pull this one off. They're on their CT side of their best map in the pool. I won't mind their chances right now. With a minute 30 left to tick, Na'Vi heading over towards this B bomb site. They've got the bomb on their back as well. And actually, the way that Banka are playing this setup does tailor towards Na'Vi a little bit here, if they commit to this B execution. But for now, it looks like they're going elsewhere.
That's a great angle by Electronic, who sees the aggression of Z-Power. He just realizes that that A-main's compromised. He comes out to his team, and they go for a retake in A-main. But luckily for Z-Power, he's just turned around and hightailed it out of there, realizing that actually it's just easier if he takes a fight with the rest of his team. The rest of Na'Vi actually congregate towards Ivy. For Simple, P250 in hand, he's going to try and lead this charge, but as he does so, he'll have to go straight into Lin, who is just going for the info here rather than that kill. Simple Doesn't matter. Instant execution onto Lin. That causes the smoke out. That causes the rotation around. And for Z-Power, while he tries to trade in this corner, he's swarmed at all angles. Good for one. Can't quite double down as he runs out of ammo. Elsewhere, Perfecto falls into a 3-on-3 with Simple taken down by Problem, leaving us in a 2-on-3 with Bits down to a 3-on-2, 2-on-2, now 2-on-1 with Problem. Coming out from Ivy, he's running into an angle where both members know where he is. Electronic, quick kill, and once again, Na'Vi, their ability to recover from disadvantages is just incredible.
It really is, and it's their star players, it's those key members that are pulling it back as well. It tends to be Electronic, it tends to be Simple, it tends to be Bit. In those positions where they say, right, we're a man down, we're 2 men down, someone needs to make a play. And they do exactly that. Their coordination is just incredible, and they manage to pull it off. It's 12-4. We see Banka on a bit of a sketchy force buy right now. A couple of Deagles, an MP9. C-Power not actually going for anything right now. He's just got that USP. He's hoping to buy himself an AWP in, not round number 18, but round number 19. And that's where they'll potentially be playing for a 14-4 comeback. That's assuming they can't get much done with these pistols. And with Bit finding that opening headshot, I think that might just be the case. Brilliant first kill, and he's not taking any damage from it either, as he can just fall right back away and help his teammates on this A execute.
As he does just that, Banka, with these members fanned out around the A site, they await this hit. Na'Vi, who in Ivy, going to have to find some way to outmaneuver Banka. Do so does this split. So Lin, the only man who can really stop them with the Steagle in hand, on top of Green Train, has something to work with. Z-Power joining him might have the timing favour Banka, but Simple for the first. Trade not there as Electronic finishes up, but Kalinka with 2 kills leaves it all onto Lime in a 1v3. Now, for Lime, in Pop Dog, he does have the element of surprise, but as does Perfecto. Quick kill for Na'Vi, that'll be 13-4. And at this stage, Josh, I think Banka are running out of opportunities to equalise.
They really are, yeah. It's going to be an eco right here. C-Power can maybe buy himself a Desert Eagle or something like that. He'll still be able to afford that AWP in the next. For everybody else, though, it is eco territory. They definitely need to hold on to this cash, especially on that CT side where everything's that little bit more expensive to be able to go for a buy. And instead, they actually hold on to all of their money. Not a single investment made. A quick pause comes through. That's not going to come into fruition until next round, though. And this is more than likely going to go 14-4, which is a rather dangerous scoreline. Then you're really cutting it down to the wire, especially up against a team like Na'Vi that are just so powerful.
Simple going for the confidence plays now, just taking straight face duels with anyone who will peek him, and as he does attempt to tap them down, he's allowed his team to get out onto B, but as he finishes off Kalinka, he's continuing this rampage. Eventually, Problem stops him, but he's the only one left. It's all on Problem in a 1v4. Perfecto finishes the job. Na'Vi, they go 14-4 up now as Banka are left with another reinvestment and a very uncomfortable position to even begin to consider making their way out of.
Absolutely. A couple of people in the chat asking whose map pick this is. I'm conscious of the fact that we don't have a HUD. You know they have a HUD on the Russian stream. It's not fair.
Well, they just don't like us.
Yeah, we got way more views in the Russian stream as well. I think. Maybe not.
No, we absolutely
we don't.
No
Do the Russian stream have way more?
No way we do.
Let's have a look. Oh my god. Okay, we literally have nowhere near. They have 44,000!
There's no way we have more than the Russian stream.
Okay, it's just because we only get recommended English streams on Twitch. That's why we came up above. But fine. 44,000? That's crazy. Alrighty then. Well, those guys are having fun. You guys don't get a HUD. But yeah, so this is BankaPEPSI's map pick. And it's not going too well, frankly. Of course, they're up against a team like Na'Vi. We're not really expecting them to win. We did kind of say this is their best map in the pool. If there's any place they're going to be able to take it, then it would be Train. However, they're not having a fun time. It's 14-4. I reckon that Na'Vi do have a good chance of just closing this out right here, right now. We are going to see a quick technical pause, though. Hopefully, it's resolved momentarily, because I'm not sure if I've got it in the tank to go for a big filler segment.
I think we won't have to do a 3-hour filler segment. Don't worry.
You don't think?
I hope not. I pray we don't.
I think at this point, if there was like major tech issues, BankaPEPSI would just say, "All right, we've lost. We'll just put our hands up." And
I mean, they didn't do that in the Gambit.
Yeah, but that was because it was so close. That was because it was literally in overtimes. At that point, it was playing one round in OT, and then Jackie would get DDoSed again, and then we'd have to sit there for like another 20 minutes. And then we play one more round, and then you'd see at the end of the round Jackie time out, and then yeah, we'd go to another pause again. It was quite exciting actually to see whether Jackie would make it through the round or not.
Yeah.
look,
Luckily,
it's been fixed.
there you go. Timeout's gone. We don't have long filler segments. We're very lucky. As Navi at 14-4 now, shutting down Banka categorically. As for Banka, what can they do? As Navi with a couple of members who just dance around, wait to see if Banka can trade them. For Banka, it's an early default, Kalinka with pop dog control, it's standard stuff. They don't even try anything too hybrid to stop Navi. It is just a matter of embracing this brief lull to even attempt to stop Banka. And while they're actually going very aggressive here, Josh.
Very aggressive indeed, and Perfecto, he's ready and waiting for it. He's been spotted there by Lime. C-Power. He might stick around here. I quite like this. Perfecto's heard the steps back. He's thinking that there's not going to be anyone aggressed, but the reality is C-Power's right here, ready. Boomich, though, on such a good angle. And there we go. Man advantage here for Na'Vi, and what a brilliant time for it.
4 on 5, and for Banka, this is make or break. This is do or die. With Electronic ready to swing out from Ivy, he hard clears Green Train anyway. Good for 1, Lime to trade. Simple, low HP is forced back by the Molotov, and because of that, Lime, he reestablishes control. With Kalinka, they finish off both members, and with a 3-on-2 now. Perfecto, that's a beautiful shot onto Lime, hoping to trade it somehow. With low HP on both Kalinka and Simple, this is about even. And as Perfecto dances around this position, he deploys that smoke to Pop Dog. He gets ready to trade where he can. Simple, though, holding the cross means that unless this kill does come through, that it does for problem. Simple, on just 12 HP, has to 1v2. With 5 seconds left, BankaPEPSI, they may have delivered on their first round of their CT side, making it 5.
Well, it's not a bad recovery there from BankaPEPSI. Unfortunate that Na'Vi weren't able to pull that one back, but they've still got such a gap here, such a lead. I really don't see them letting this slip.
So someone asked, how do you say JLAYM's name, right? It's Lime. You know how we cast a lot of Tier 2, Tier 3 CS? When it was first coming up, I had about 5 matches straight where I was bullied by both admins, Russian viewers, and Russian casters for not being able to say it properly. Apparently it's Lime. Apparently the JL actually makes like a Russian character.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Lime.
It's like...
So for like Boomich rather than Boomball 4.
Yeah, Lime. Yeah, that's how we've been told to say it. And yeah, we've just been told by our producer as well that we are right. We are saying it correct. So there you go, Lime.
Actually pretty proud of knowing that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's huge. Two-man advantage here for BankaPEPSI, and they're looking like they're finding their footing here on their CT side. It's unfortunate that they lost so many rounds on their attack, because I feel like the CT side, it is their better side here on Train, but of course when you pick into a map, your opponents get their pick on the sides, and here on Train you're always going to pick into your CT half first, so it just puts them at an inherent disadvantage. It's not a lost cause just yet, as they pull back that 6th, but there's still an 8-round gap in this one, and it's going to be very difficult to close, especially with Na'Vi being on their T side, where that economy is so much easier to manage.
As someone who always tells me, Kreber, you need to believe. Do you believe here, Josh?
I believe, but the logic in my brain says probably not.
Believe in the comeback. If Banka get 10 rounds in a row, I will be a BankaPEPSI fan. We will only drink Pepsi for the rest of my stay here.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, I'll do that. We got the Pepsi crew. I don't think they're sponsored by Pepsi. I know a lot of people have been saying in the chat. I think this is just like a meme mix name, but because they're in like an RMR qualifier, they don't want to just have, I don't know, they don't want to just be called Orgless.
Do you know what a cool mix name that I had? A friend of mine gave me a couple of years ago when we were entering a tournament.
Go on.
The Mexicans.
Haha!
That was great. I love it so much. I'm ashamed that we haven't seen many teams use that, but
we had some bad mix names. Remember our Epic Land mix name?
We had Krema's Cuties for a very long time.
Krema's Cuties.
Yeah.
M&J's Escort Service.
We actually played against each other as well.
Yeah.
Krema's Cuties versus M&J's Escort Service. That's actually amazing. I forgot about that.
The Gilfs.
Oh, the Gilfs, that was a great one. Banka. How do they stop this with Perfecto, he'll be joining Boomich with this flank up to beat. Yeah, it's a mass slaughter now. Z-Power Problem both chime in, but the AK is simple. It's getting a bit of mileage. 2 kills on the flank, leaves it into a 3-on-3. Electronic chiming onto Lin on the flank, leaves it into both the Kalinka and Lime. Lime shows his position from behind. Good for 1. Leaves Kalinka for bit. Electronic on the flank, M4 in hand. Unfortunately, if he can't get a kill onto Kalinka, and he can't do it quickly, which he can't, Banka gonna hit 7. Really mounting a bit of a comeback now, Josh.
Even if he could have got that kill onto Kalinka, there was no time to wrap around and get that defused. The bomb wasn't planted for him, it was planted default, and he just can't see it from Con. The flank, the lurk, it makes sense, but only if your teammates stay alive, and being unable to do so puts you in an impossible situation where, frankly, it's not even worth trying to go for it. But they had enough money to justify it, so that was the game plan. AK-47's all round simple with that AWP. He's currently sitting on 27 frags. On the other side of things, Kalinka's starting to step up to the plate, sitting on 17. But Banka, there's still a long road ahead.
Simple, and opening onto Kalinka is exactly what they're after. With Na'Vi, with a response eking out, they see Z-Power aggressing in Ivy. With Electronic falling to Lin as well, there's a trade. Z-Power to Simple on the jump spot there. It leaves us in a 4-on-3. Boomich, he's able to get away, but get away to what? Bit falling to Lime, leaves alone 2 members of Na'Vi who have just been dismantled. Banka, who at this stage, in this default, are looking to really stop them now with Boomich and Perfecto low HP, Z-Power for Perfecto, Boomich in a 1v4, trapped above Pop Dog. Sure, he'll flash his way in, sure, he'll make his way out, but even then, would that be enough? Because with a minute to toy with, he has an opening to attempt to push, but still a 1v4, and without a kill quickly, there's the first, Lin to trade, Banka for 8, and Na'Vi for a pretty bad buy.
Well, at the end of the day, what we're seeing right now is life from BankaPEPSI. Even if they don't end up taking this map, it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for them. Yeah, they play up. They don't get to play up against Na'Vi very often. Maybe in scrims and stuff. Maybe Na'Vi allow it. I'm really not too sure how Tier 1 scrims work, to be honest. I feel like they play each other more often than kind of dropping down to Tier 3 teams and things like that. But for BankaPEPSI, as I say, it's not every day of the week that they get to play against Na'Vi. The fact that they're putting up rounds means that they can go back, they can look at this demo, and they can kind of take the goods, they can spot out the bads, and try and maybe solidify their train setups for future reference. Because right now, whilst Na'Vi, towards the end of the first half, were having a little bit of fun with it, buying those auto snipers and whatnot, This is Na'Vi playing seriously right now. They just want to close out this map. They don't want to lose too many rounds. Not that round difference makes a huge difference here in the Swiss stage, but yeah, they definitely want to just close this one out, and they're clearly struggling to.
A metaphor I always think of to describe this is, you know when you're leaning back in your like wooden chair and you kind of lean too far and suddenly you fall a bit and you have to grab onto the table quickly.
Yeah.
And your heart, and you kind of like, your life flashes before your eyes.
Yeah, after your teacher's always told you, don't lean back on your chair. There was once this one kid that died.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And for Na'Vi, they've leaned back a little bit too far on their chair. They've hit the adrenaline rush. They're trying to grab the table. And this is them trying to do that now. With Tech9's out from Ivy. Kalinka's good for the first anyway. Kalinka's a double down. Electronic Shori trades. He even doubles down with a kill onto Lin, giving an opportunity to exploit for the members of Na'Vi. Through the smoke, bits just a little bit too high. And that's Lyman Problem to finish the job. And 14-9, Banka now really closing the distance between them and Na'Vi. And honestly, Josh, I'm starting to feel Banka coming back now.
I don't know. I mean, if you're a Banka fan, then definitely.
This is great if you're a Banka fan.
It really is. Yeah, it's nice and exciting, isn't it? But I'm not too sure. I see it. I see that glimmer of hope. I wouldn't be getting excited until Banka win this next buy round. If they can win this next buy round, then we'll see them get a freebie in the next. We'll see it go 14-11, maybe even 14-12 before we see the next proper buy, especially with Simple being able to pull out that sniper. Remember, they are starting to accumulate quite the loss bonus, but oh, it's just beautiful. C-Power, coordinated aggression, finds that opener. He's got the support there in case he's traded or in case a second man swings. It's not needed. The smoke's thrown and they just fall away. So well played. and they don't take a single point of damage from the engagement.
Na'Vi with now not only a man down, but a gap in that utility. Because they've only got a single smoke on bits, they can't risk an execution anywhere. They might be able to get away with a smoke on connector. They might get down ramp with that initial smoke on that ramp, but even then, it's going to be open season for the AUG, for the AWP of Z-Power, who, unfortunately for Na'Vi, is starting to really wake up. And, well, Na'Vi with a really loose default, just spread out around the map, hoping something will go their way. There's that smoke to the top of upper. Z-Power, the nade, it's pretty good to Bit. It tickles him a bit, doesn't fully kill him though. Instead, Bits, who has to find a way to hard clear this position, kills off Problem. Now there's something Na'Vi may look to exploit, but with 35 seconds left, they need to move somewhere quickly, and unfortunately, it's going to be this A site, a position which Banka have fairly well fortified. They've got the quick rotation of both Lime and Z-Power to assist. There's the push. Simple. Not spotted out from heaven, though. Because of that, Lime's good for one. Trade there by Kalinka. 3-on-3. Low HP on Kalinka's punished by Boom Bitch, and as that bomb goes down, Z-Power's good for one. Comes out from main, and eventually Perfecto from the flank, assisted by Bit, will finish the job, leaving Lin in a 1v2. Low HP on Perfecto makes this so doable for him. He drops that pistol to try and fake a drop, but he's unable to do so. Perfecto, who dances to the other side of the site, hopes for timing on Lin, who, unfortunately, the scope of his rifle actually blocks the vision here. And as he does drop himself eventually, there's the first... Oh, it's the first bit of damage, but it's just not enough. Na'Vi with 15 now. Let's close it out with a very close round against Banka.
Well, we'll see a quick timeout here from BankaPEPSI, and do you know what? There's no better time for it, realistically. This could be the final round of the game. They definitely need extra 30 seconds, maybe just to discuss what they're going to do going into this one. We do see a full investment come out for Lin and Lime. I don't think there's any weapons on the floor for them. They might have to drop down to a couple of MP9s, something like that. It's not too much of a contingency. When you've got an AWP and you've got rifles behind you, as long as you've got that util as well, having an MP9, especially here on train, getting aggressive maybe towards Pop Dog, maybe towards a main, maybe even towards the B ramp area, it's viable. It definitely is viable. Let's see what they go for here, though. There's an Eagle on Lime. Ooh.
I was about to say, this is where their economy starts to strain a bit, and a Deagle on Line, a UMP on Lin, it's not a pretty sight. Na'Vi with a full investment. Of course, this is where the cumulative damage comes in. Even though they'd been losing, but they've been doing damage, which means that economy constantly takes a hit, and Z-Power, realizing he's one of the only players with a power weapon, has to aggress, and that's a nice shot onto Bit. Instantly reacting and Simple. Missing the shot, the fadeaway player means that Z-Power, despite being on 5 HP, is able to deliver a man advantage. For Perfecto, he now looks to trade by peeking into a main. Lime's the man he duels for this position, but will Lime be able to stop them? The flash actually blinds his teammate there, Perfecto, not swinging off the back of it. Instead, Lime now peeks in. Perfecto there to trade. Kalinka to get the next say of the matter, maintaining the advantage for Banka, meaning Simple has to be the next man to fight. However, with an AWP, the second he misses, he's going to be straight onto death's door.
Z-Power so low on health. Oh, the jump spots there from Simple confirm that there's a man top green as well. He's going to try and bring this fight to his opponents. Getting up close with that AWP, you know that he's so confident using it like a shotgun. What on earth was that? He just thrown the bomb down ladder? He's trying to fake the pop drop, but he's done it with the C4. No. That's absolutely bonkers. The molly doesn't go far enough. It hits Kalinka, so he's able to stick around behind it, and now it all falls onto Simple. 1 versus 4, hits the 2. Now the 2v1. Knows where the bomb is, going to deploy the molly in deep. That should clear it out. And Kalinka, oh no, it hits a weird bit of geometry. Kalinka's able to stick around, and he'll be able to find that final kill as well. I got excited there for Simple. We've seen those clutches from him time and time again, but right there, it just wasn't meant to be.
The stars aligned, didn't they? But they just weren't enough. And for Banka, this is a pretty good position to be in. They know they've done damage to Na'Vi's economy. They know Na'Vi without a bomb plant is going to struggle a bit here. They know that they're also facing the complete reset onto Na'Vi's round loss. With only an MP9 on Lin, their economy still takes their battering. But at least this time they have a double op setup to speak for. And my worry for double op setups, though, Josh, is they're bloody expensive. If they fall, even if they win, they lose both AWPs, they're not getting anything in the next round, regardless of what their loss is. And for Na'Vi, knowing this, with AWP on Simple, pistols on the rest, they brought down to circa 2k bar. Simple has gone for the hero AWP. They get ready with their util, and just a straight hit to B. It's going to be a bait and switch for Z-Power and his teammate of Problem on the ladder. Will it stop Na'Vi as they brace in Brown Halls? Simple, the man to take this fight. Z-Power, does he win this duel? A duel which, frankly, should have legends written about, but for Simple, doesn't even take the fight with Z-Power. He instead takes it with Problem. There's a man advantage, 5-on-4. Z-Power spots them come out, trades onto Electronic, holding the cross, flashed off the angle, turns his attention to Simple, who still can't see him. Bit to pull, Lime to trade, 4-on-2. Simple and Perfecto, the last left standing, while Perfecto, he's unable to get a kill. Simple certainly is. The utility, it chases Na'Vi away. As in a 3-on-2, they dive down from Pop Dog. They hope that maybe they can catch a player out over in Connector in the rotation, but Kalinka, he's already there. Simple, beautiful flick with a kill onto Lin, leaving him into the 1 versus 2. Bomb goes down. Players from both angles means that he has to take a fight with one of them, and soon. But as he does so, Z-Power on the flank. He's ready to peek into it, but he's not even required. Kalinka shutting down Simple on the jump spots, provides Banka with 11.
Back-to-back clutch opportunities there for Simple. Not ones that you'd necessarily expect him to be winning, but at the same time, it's Simple. Anything's possible. 15-11, and this scoreline really is starting to close up. It's looking a hell of a lot closer than we were expecting, especially after seeing that 14-4 lead that we once saw. Seems to always be the way, doesn't it? It always seems to close up. When it looks like it's about to close, when it looks like it's about to be super one-sided, we're made to work for the dollar. 15-11, and BankaPEPSI right now with plenty of money behind them will be on another full investment. Na'Vi, though, having found 4 kills, having got that bomb plant, they will be on a huge amount of money as well with that max loss bonus. Saving a bit of cash in the last 2 means the AKs, means that AWP, Simple, able to open things up early, man advantage for them. And that's C-Power, one of the heaviest hitters out the server. Kalinka, the man that's been putting up the big numbers, he's 25-19 right now. And he's looking to try and hit this shot, but as he hits the leg, he's going to fall as well. 2-man advantage here for Na'Vi.
This could be the start of the end. Lin, who has definitely had a weaker game, is now the only defender of Ivy, but he won't be called into action yet. Instead, Na'Vi turn their attention to a straight hit out of A main. They've got default smokes lined up, they're ready to be deployed, and Lime, realizing the trouble he could potentially be in, retreats to Ivy to join his teammate to stack up and hope that there'll be safety in numbers. In this case, Electronic, he won't care if there's numbers or not. He swings into them, lines up the first, Lime to trade, tagged in the process. Information given to Na'Vi, knowing where the location of one of them is, means they can take this fight. Through the smoke, Lime falls, having whiffed, leaving all onto Problem in this 1 versus 4. What on earth can he do here, Josh? I don't know. As he looks to peek into them from Tunnel 2, he'll do so going straight into Perfecto. There's the first kill. And with an opening, he's taking no damage. There's a chance, but it's a faint glimmer of a chance. As Simple finishes the job, it proves it was just a pipe dream. Banker, credit where credit is due for making it that close. Unfortunately, it's just not enough to finish the job. And because of that, Na'Vi, they are much triumphant on our first map of Train.
It's a hell of a performance from them. But, I mean, honestly, the credit almost goes to BankaPEPSI there, doesn't it? Realistically, they weren't supposed to win that map. This is against Na'Vi, the second best team in the world. These guys, I don't even think they're in the top 50 at the moment. They are, really kind of
in the world.
upcoming. 75? Yeah, I mean, we're familiar with these players. They're old schoolers. They're the old, sorry, not the old Na'Vi roster, the old Hellraisers roster. But they weren't supposed to win this matchup. The fact that they brought it as close as they did is impressive. And I think they'll come away from that one and say, do you know what? That's not too bad. We put up a good fight there. We put up some good rounds. And they can walk away from that one, watch the demo, and potentially learn from it. But Na'Vi, they take it 16-11. And that's on their opponent's map pick as well. We're going to be going to a short 10-minute break, folks. When we return, we'll see if Na'Vi can close this one out in 2 bites. Remember, the second map in this pool is Dust 2, their map pick, or whether BankaPEPSI can pull off quite the upset and bring us to a third. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back in just a moment.
There are only a few seconds to close this round. A headshot. Nice. Fist bumps go to the teammates.
never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right. It feels right, it feels right, yeah. I can only say that it feels right. It feels right, it feels right, yeah. I can only say that it feels right. Going with the gut, never had a doubt, felt like this is just a must. Put me in perspective, I'm the deepest in the cut. Everybody tuning in, but this is just for us now. We know I ain't ballin' yet, hoes wanna holler, oh no, I don't call them back. Girl, let me see you hold it down, we gon' have a blast. Cause I just wanna know what you gonna do with all of that. Ain't gotta say a word, I know what's up. You can have it all, watch me rip it off. I'll admit it, you got me feeling hella loved. Even when it's going down, know that we gon' live it up. Young shot caller, always been a baller. Know that you the one, I can feel it in my heart, yeah. I won't stop charging, we going come harder. I can see you and I, way beyond the stars, girl. I can never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right. It feels right, it feels right, it feels
Rising with each beat of the music is
There are only a few seconds to close this round. A headshot. Nice. Fist bumps go to the teammates.
I wanna hear your go, go, go. Make them feel your smashing blow. Win the round. Rise to fame. Hold the ground.
Pretty much. They play, you win.
Hello, 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 and welcome back as we see Navi take on BankaPEPSI over on Dust 2. Now, Trey and Josh, that was something to behold, wasn't it? That was a really close map, but BankaPEPSI mounting a really strong comeback. Unfortunately, just wasn't enough, was it? We saw a very close game, which Navi were able to take 16-11. Now we move to Dust 2, and what might be Navi's, because it's their map pick, I suspect, a bit of a more one-sided game.
I think so too, yeah. Na'Vi, they've shown us time and time again they're really, really strong on Dust 2 against Tier 1 teams as well. And I think this one should be a little bit of a walk in the park for them. We'll have to wait and see. Of course, their recent wins over on Dust 2 have been against some real titans of opponents. Of course, along the list, there's Gambit twice, actually, 16-12 and 16-8. Then you've got VP, Complexity in the mix, MIBR, Gambit again. That one went to double OT, but still, it was a win. And Liquid in there as well, 16-7. So these guys have been winning Dust 2, and they've been winning Dust 2 at a Tier 1 level. For BankaPEPSI, they're kind of 50-50, but the wins that they've had haven't been against the most formidable of opponents. We've kind of seen wins against SG Pro, Fate. Sinners is a pretty big one, 16-13 against those guys. That was back in February, though, so I'm really not sure how much there really is to go off of there. However, back then, they had JR in the AWP. Now they've got C-Power. I think that's an upgrade. So, I don't know.
Agree.
We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Na'Vi, definitely your favourites to be taking this one. I'm pretty certain of that factor. And we're just going to kind of have to wait and see if they can take it or whether there'll be some kind of upset. I saw a couple of people in the chat talking about how important this is for Na'Vi and about how they don't necessarily have a secure major spot. And they're absolutely right with that one. They have to use this opportunity to get RMR points. Otherwise, they could potentially be in trouble. Right now, because of the deductions that they've had, and because of the fact that they didn't get too many points in the 2020 RMR events, they actually don't have too many points. They're sitting at 480, and they're miles behind Forza. They're miles behind Team Spirit. So they absolutely need to use this opportunity to rack up some RMR points. Otherwise, they might not. I don't think that there's any chance that they don't qualify for the major, quite frankly. But I think that there's definitely a chance that they don't take that legend spot that I think people are expecting. And maybe they qualify in as a contender or something like that, which they will not be happy with. As rank 2 in the world, they won't be happy with a contender spot.
They really like you, Josh.
Yeah, they do, don't they? That's brilliant. Thank you. It really flatters me.
I'll say you're getting love right now. I like getting close. I mean, how can I not? Look at it.
That's oversized. Oh no, oversized. I got excited.
Oversized. Different cast. Not a colleague, just a random kind of guy.
I could oversized. But yeah.
Yeah, it's surprising actually. We have some very polarized audiences, don't we? Sometimes
they hate us. Sometimes they're out for blood.
Complete abuse. It actually is just really unpleasant. But you guys are really nice. I'm quite happy with everyone today. They'd be nice.
They are being nice.
There was one guy who was having like a stroke at the start, wasn't there? But
honestly, guys, sometimes we come into a cast and people are seriously out for blood. It's like
it's really mean.
These casters are the worst. Like get them out.
We're human, you know.
Horrendous. Yeah, and it hurts our feelings. But yeah, sometimes you guys are really nice. We really, really do appreciate the support. We love it. Really, really do love it. And it just makes everything a little bit more enjoyable.
These guys.
Can we cuddle? Maybe. It depends where you're from, man. But yeah, why not?
Johnson's son. You know how often I hear that, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't even look like him. Maybe you just sound like him.
I used to sound like him quite a lot.
I think you do sound like him.
Oh, thanks, Josh.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no worries. I was going to quote him somehow, but I don't follow him at all. Well, it was a Boris Johnson quote to make. But you know what? I don't even want to humour this. No, I'm not like him at all.
You're not even going to humour it?
No, I'm not like him at all.
Don't like arguing with your wife?
Everyone's similar in some regard. Right?
All right.
Yeah, that's it's interesting actually. Navi, BankaPEPSI, they two teams which are quite interesting. I won't lie. Kremer's the loyal English friend in the movies. Is that good or is that bad? I think that's
loyal
good.
English friend in movies. Yeah, I mean that's good. Loyalty is a good thing.
Do you know whose English voice I wish I had?
Go on.
You know Scar from The Lion King?
Yes.
That's
the
a
really deep, like,
Yes.
Simba. Yeah.
No. That's Mufasa. Scar's the bad guy.
Yeah, but I know
has
Scar's
such a
voice.
cool
I'm pretty
voice.
sure
I
he
wish-
says Simba at some point.
The day, I would actually, if that guy was a cast, I would follow everything he does. Right?
Yeah.
That is. We got underrated. Thank you very much, guys. You're all awesome. But we're underway. We've got Banka with a couple of smokes, a few flashes here or there, and with that effect, Na'Vi, who have already deployed their utility almost entirely now, are going for this mid to B split. Bit to lead that charge as he dives up, just executes Linda, who's caught with his pants down, and because of that, Boomich on the flank onto the line, Electronic onto Kalinka. The only man set aside his problem. He picks up, unable to cause a problem, is shut down by Electronic, leaving Z-Power alone in a 1v4. And I tell you what, Josh, I think that is a fairly quick clean-up of the Banka defense.
It really is, yeah. If there's anything that's been pretty rock solid throughout this series so far, it's Na'Vi's incredibly decisive pistol rounds. We saw a very similar affair over on Train as well, but they were absolutely able to wipe the floor in it, and we're seeing an attempted knife kill here from Simple. Oh no, he could have maybe had it as well. C-Power had run out of bullets there. It was very, very messy towards the end, but you can see they were in control just throughout the whole of it. They were in control there. And yeah, we see it go 1-0. BankaPEPSI now, of course, they'll go for a force buy here. We see a couple of pistols. We see C-Power on that scout, but there's really not too much behind it. Last time around, we actually saw the Deagles and that SSG do quite a bit of damage. This time, I'm not sure if we'll see the same. We'll have to wait and see.
That's wait and see indeed. Tell you what, the chat has just caught up with us complaining about the abuse we get, and that is like screenshot words. When we're having a bad day, let's go back and think, you know what, people like us still.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
I love it as well. You know what I also love? I love Na'Vi's on control. They're instantly damage onto Lin, and they don't even take any casualties doing so. Instantly shuts them down, and for Na'Vi, this is just map control established. The worry I have for them is if you stagnate and long, your opponents can aggress to, tunnels, they can aggress to a top mid, and means you have to aggress, well, you have to just push instantly. However, Simple, he does the opposite and instead just kills everyone before the flank can come through. So, fair enough. That should be a quick hit away, and Electronic on the pre-fight doesn't quite finish them off, though. And because of that, Na'Vi, on their cross, might take a bit of damage done here.
Oh, the man advantage here for Na'Vi. Of course, they're going to push over towards this A bomb site. Kalinka's smoke, whilst it gives him safe passage to cross, it almost helps Na'Vi a little bit here. It allows them to get onto that bomb site. Simple, who's rather vulnerable on 20 HP, is in the clear. Maybe not, with Lime shooting him right through the smoke. That's a crisp headshot. But still a 3 versus 2. 2 Desert Eagles. There's only a single flash in the terms of util. And of course, no diffuse kits on either of these guys as well. So this is going to be a really, really tough retake. And realistically, I think they're here to just do some damage. Maybe try and find a rifle.
So, whiffs really hard there, and his problem shuts him down. That bomb is too far gone. Without kit, they're not going to be able to defuse it. But look at the damage they've just done to these members. Lime shutting down Boomers, using it all onto bits. I mean, yeah, he gets the kill, but for Na'Vi, that was a massive. The Butcher's bill comes to just bits standing alive, the last man alone. Na'Vi, massive reinvestment has to come through now. We look at the odds from our partners at Parry Match.
Jeez!
Wow, I was really hoping Waters wouldn't do that, Josh, but we're not Overwatch casters. As Parry Match, they seem to think Banka don't stand a chance here.
Yeah, I mean, the odds were fairly one-sided over on Train. They weren't as one-sided as that. And right here, my goodness, that 9-1. I don't think that BankaPEPSI have any opportunity of taking this one. Somehow, in the eco, though, they're getting some mileage out of it. We actually saw at the very start of Train, back-to-back eco rounds, where we saw Banka take one, we saw Na'Vi take one. I'm not sure if this will be the case this time, because the issue is here with Dust 2, is as soon as they've confirmed that it's a hard long hit, they've taken the bomb over to B, and once they get that plant, it should be solid. Simple, though, the trigger discipline, waits for them to pass, only finds 2, but that should be sufficient damage to close this one out, especially considering neither of these remaining CTs have any Kevlar.
I fully expected to see a just flashy 4 bullets, 4 kills, all straight executions to the back of the head. Instead, really nice recovery from Banka there. So just shut down instantly, only losing 2 members. And in a 2-on-2, once again, damage is all they really need to do here, considering they are on an eco. Lime ready to go through window. He's got his teammate in tunnels. Boomich for the first. Bit awaiting Lime for the second. Able to deliver means that 2 AKs get saved. Sure, it helps. Or, for a moment I thought they weren't going to get any AKs. 2 AKs saved. That helps. Na'Vi 3-0 up. Banka, they hit their full buy. This is where we see the tempo dictated.
The thing is right now is that Banka, they're having a lot of close rounds. That right there was a really good round. Considering it was an eco, they did a substantial amount of damage. It was really good. However, we see so many of these close rounds, and Na'Vi seem to be able to consistently close them out in these clutch situations. I want to see Banka with the guns out, maybe get a little more mileage out of those 2v2, 3v3 positions, with Lime taking the early engagement, though. He's tagged right down to 18 points of health. Still alive, though. 5 on 5, minute 30 on this clock. C-Power waiting for the cross. Is he going to be able to get anything? Spots the arm. That's a quick shot. He'll be able to fall away from it as well. He's got support from his teammate, but he wants to fall to B. Knows that it's rather vulnerable. And Kalinka, he'll use that opportunity to tuck himself behind the door as well. A position that might not necessarily be cleared. It's often overlooked.
The worry with Lime as well is that he does have a position where the second he takes a bullet, he just dies. Over on mid, though, and over on long, Perfecto and Boomich with kills keep it equal in a 3-on-3. The trade from problems, just what's required to leave Na'Vi still having to be a bit more disciplined and making sure they don't go for too flashy a play. For Simple, centre sight, he's got an AWP of Z-Power to duel, and tell you what, dueling Z-Power is something I would consider terrifying. The Molly down's right onto him, he's forced forward, Z-Power executing Simple with a bullet that goes skull mush skull wall, and for Boomich, on long, taps down what he can, but Lime to trade, leaves it all onto Electronic, who's finished off by Z-Power. And that is a really clean retake from Banka there, who instantly find their first.
Yeah, we'll see that defuse come through. Plenty of time for it. Of course, there was a kill on C-Power, but he didn't need it. Na'Vi, they do drop one. It goes 3-1. I see a lot of people in the chat complaining about the fact that the game volume is a little bit low. I've just put a message in, folks. We're not like Valve. We won't ignore it.
We see it. We just can't control it.
We can't control it. Yeah, we don't control the game volume at all. It's not us, but I've popped a message into the producer. Hopefully we'll be able to fix that one for you. And yeah, sorry. It's never fun having the game volume too low.
In about a minute or so, it'll increase for you. So
yeah, because...
Let us know if it becomes deafening.
Yeah, because if the game volume's too low, then we're too loud. And that's a problem. That's a problem. Yeah, you don't want to hear... Us in the background as like white noise is cool, but too much of us.
Flatulence.
Yeah.
English twats who are stumbling through a game. And Perfecto and Boomich, they get 2 quick kills. And Lime, yeah, he does trade, but they've lost the B bomb site in the process. And B site, literally the hardest site to retake in the game. You know, as an ex-player, you're also an ex-player. You can agree that B site, it is just, you don't even want to consider retaking it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's notoriously, and I think definitely the hardest site to retake here in Counter-Strike for multiple reasons. Firstly, because the actual entry points are just so narrow and so scarce. Secondly, the skybox is, it's not necessarily that the skybox is low, but it's the fact that from the tunnels, especially previously, you couldn't actually deploy any nades from inside the tunnels. So you either had to deploy smokes from the T-spawn, or you just couldn't deploy any nades there from that side of things. Now they've opened up some holes in the roof. So I think it's made it a little bit easier to retake on the basis that you can pop a couple of flashes through those gaps in the roof. But it's still not great. It's certainly still not great. Either way, we won't see the retake come through. Na'Vi, they bounce back. They respond off of the one round they lost. The issue is with those 3 rifles being saved there from BankaPEPSI, there's more than enough money for them to drop, and we'll see another full investment here in the 6th. So Na'Vi, they've got to overcome quite the hurdle once again, but I'm quite confident in their ability to do so.
If they can repeat this, then they're going to have such a clean route to try and dominate their first half, similarly to how they did in trade. Flashes allows Electronic out of long, AWP shot, that's right out, doesn't quite hit him. That means that both members stacked on blue, they can maybe even boost Electronic up. Exactly what they do. He expects re-aggression, none come, and instead Banka playing a little bit more passive, sitting back to ace site. They've got a player on card to assist them. My worry though is that for Lin, because they haven't seen any fight on long, the only place the long place could be is either site or long. When they swing, they'll see that he isn't sent to site, so it's got to be car. And unfortunately for Lin, that may play to his death. And these members over on Banka, instead, the aggression is in tunnels. The man to duel will be Bits, who unfortunately doesn't quite have the timing as he does so. Can he take this fight? And we see there is a massive delay between us and you guys, isn't there? It's about a minute.
I think it's about a minute, 70 seconds, something like that. So, yeah, we're a little bit behind you. Either way, Couple of nice kills there. Remember, that was a 5-on-3 just a moment ago. Perfecto and Electronic getting some mileage. The issue is they've taken a lot of damage from those engagements. So whilst it's a 3-on-3, they've got a combined health of about 19, but that doesn't matter when Boomic is still doing damage. Now, he's the pincer. Kalinka needs to be scared. I'm surprised Perfecto commits to the wide swing. Boomic swings to try and trade off of it. Electronic's there to support, but in the one-on-one with such low HP, he's just run across the doors. It's mental. Lin runs through the fire. Denies the plant because Electronic's planting open. And my goodness, what a messy round, but what a way to close it for BankaPEPSI.
At least it was recovered. That is best case scenario for Banka. They recover it. We look at their investment, they just get one. Only just. But for Na'Vi, they too, with what was a couple of kills with the bomb plant last round, means that we see another fight here. This time, both teams, they're fighting for resets. This next round will count as double, because your opponent's going straight to an eco regardless of who wins. Because of that, Banka, they need to fight for long this time. They force Na'Vi backwards. Luckily for them, Na'Vi aren't really fighting for long. And because of that, Banka continue this default. Are we casting Gambit later, Josh? We are, aren't we? I think we are.
Yeah, we're doing the Gambit game. We're on all day. It's exciting.
It's exciting. Fun stuff. What else is fun, Josh?
Go on.
That's Na'Vi taking shore right now. They're pushing forward fairly quickly, and the only defense is Lime, who, from center sight, he might have the rotation of Kalinka in time, but even then, that's a rough one.
It's a bit of a sketchy buy on either side. There's actually reset potential for either team right now because we've gone back and forth. Neither side have been able to accumulate any kind of major loss bonus. And that means that Boomic and Bit are down to these Desert Eagles. Realistically, here for those players, it's not too much of an issue. But for C-Power, it's a free first. Really nice shot from him. Bit's able to retrieve that AWP. So now one of the Desert Eagles certainly upgraded. On the other side of things, problem on the MP9. Not too much util for them left to work with either. They've deployed quite a lot of it early. That means that we're just left with a few flashbangs late in this one. Bit unable to connect the routine AWP shot. C-Power up on top of the wood, able to trade and capitalize. And we go into a 5-on-3. Na'Vi, they're running out of options. They're running out of time. And I think we're going to see either one last hurrah towards B or a hard save call. And it's going to be the latter. They all fall back to the T spawn. And BankaPEPSI will be able to make this their third.
Na'Vi, at least they hold on to weapons. At least they have something to work with in the next round. For Lin, as he goes up to T-spawn, he is alone as he does so, and instead dropping into suicide means that Banka, it looks like they know exactly where Na'Vi are, except they don't want to risk fighting them. Because of that, we see a lot of players who just back away. 3 members on either side hold their weapons. Because of that, Banka, they have all the util in the world to work with. They've got their weapons with them. Na'Vi, on the flip side, with absolutely nothing, are in a position where they could be abused and exploited almost instantaneously, because the second these two AKs, and I think the AWP's just been dropped to simple, the second those go down, they've got no follow-through.
Well, once again, Na'Vi on a very similar buy to what we saw last time round. They've got the rifles that they saved in the last, and then Boomic and Bit just down to the Desert Eagles. BankaPEPSI, this could be a prime opportunity for them to tie things up 4-4. Couple of spams through the wall, not going to connect. Electronic loses his life early. That's one of the harder hitters. That's one of the rifles gone. Perfecto in the meantime, though, able to open things up on the B-bomb site. And it all comes down to this duel between Simple and C-Power. C-Power, what a shot, though. It's unreal. It's instantly traded. So we continue to go into this 3-on-3. But Kalinka still holding the fort.
That kill is exactly what's required for Banka to give a chance of a retake. If it goes 3-on-3 without the B site, usually that is just a matter of saving. You can't follow through on that. But for Perfecto, center sight, he's got to hold both the door and window while Boomic aggresses into Lin. There's the kill, 2-on-2. Now the window player has to make up for that lack of push. And while they flash the player out of window, Perfecto's good for the first. Live in a 1 versus 2. M4 posted on Boomic's position. However, it may not be enough. He continues to make his way out from doors. Brings out a shot. Boomic with a clean kill there. Gives Na'Vi their 5th. And at 5-3, Banka, this time with very limited money to fight for the 9th.
It's a big round there from Na'Vi. A ballsy play to go for the same buy that they just lost with. But being able to do so breaks the economy of BankaPEPSI right now. Very, very little money behind them, and they go for the pistol buy. I'm not surprised with this one at all. They say you know what? We need to stay around this kind of 2,000, 2.5K mark. For C-Power, it's all about keeping hold of that money for the AWP, and Kalinka drops instantly. Beautiful shot there from Simple. I have no idea how he's connected that one, but it's just testament to how fast he is with that AWP in hand.
That is something to fear, and, well, the flash in mid is just even better. Bit killing Problem leaves the remaining members of Banka with no control to be on mid. Because of that, rotation has to mean they leave long entirely, and without a single point of damage done to Na'Vi, even if they just take a straight hit to B, we might even see a save from Banka, giving them the biggest economic injection they could possibly hope for. And there's the peak. Simple for line. Knows the remaining 2 players should be there, and by process of elimination, having spotted out the first, he even peeks straight into them. Takes down Z-Power. The Glock finishes the job on the first. Lin, can he trade? Yes, he can. Can he save the AWP, though? And looking at Electronic's positioning, I doubt it. He jumps up. Quick execution. Leaves Na'Vi 6-3 up.
Well, BankaPEPSI, having gone for a bit of a save in the last, they have got money to go for a big old buy here, so maybe a chance for them to try and bounce this one back. You know, Chrome, again, decent viewers on this game, but you know, over on the other side of things, I really want to see what's on the Russian stream. It's actually going crazy. Still at about 43,000. Massive.
This is two Russian teams playing against each other.
It's Na'Vi, yeah. That's what you get. Big Na'Vi fans coming in. They've got a huge fan base. Huge fan base. Over in Russia and the Ukraine, places like that. Massive stuff. 6-3 though. A solid buy here from BankaPEPSI. Unfortunately, Kalinka's down to that for Mass. And of all players here on this side, that's kind of the last man I want to see on that lesser premium weapon. He was absolutely on fire on Train. And here, I'd be expecting him to do the same for C-Power. How has he missed that shot? Does actually follow it up and find it. But as you see the kills come through on B, once again, BankaPEPSI have lost the site. It's a very doable 3-on-3, but how do they get it done when they've just been locked out the site?
They need this retake to land instantly. That's a really nice molly from Lime there that lands straight onto Xbox. It should deter, I believe that'll be Simple from holding an angle. Instead, he has to reposition. That's a real way to push. And for Banka, they brace themselves for a hit. Looks like they're actually going to attempt this retake. There's the flash. Here's the push. Lime to lead the charge through the doors. Lin on his back to assist. Kalinka for the first. Trade by Bit. Tries to double down. Unable to do so, but Lin with a 3k there is, or 2k even, supported by Kalinka, is able to provide Banka with their fourth. Pushed out of position by the molly momentarily, but that won't stop him from getting that defuse. 2 rounds separate these two sides, and honestly, we expected this to be a stomp. Instead, Banka are seriously giving a performance now.
And at the very start of this series, when we had that little bit of a filler segment while we were waiting for Perfecto to connect to the server, I said, these RMR events give these teams an opportunity to play against the best in the world and show that they are capable of putting up rounds. They are capable of putting up strong performances. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now from BankaPEPSI. We saw it the other day from Akuma when they took Gambit to double OT. We're seeing it here. 16-11 on the first map. And right now, this is looking even more contentious. Electronic, though, my goodness. 2 beautiful openers. Very fast headshots. Get things underway over towards long. And open up that map control like a can. And now Banka, I don't know how you respond from that, quite frankly. Simple, waiting for the aggression, the timing, that's unfortunate. But either way, Boomic is there, ready for it.
Boomic assisting with that hold of the flank, leaves both Z-Power and Problem to somehow stop Na'Vi. But as they do so, it's just a single AWP on Z-Power. Problem with only a FAMAS means that unless Na'Vi somehow fully flash themselves, giving something to respond, I don't know, Josh. I seriously don't. And unless we see Z-Power go huge, which is likely, but as he peeks across the other side of the smoke, he needs a kill, and quickly. Through the smoke, Problem flashed forward, killed off by Bit, leaves it all onto Z-Power, mollied out of position, dives into CT, chased down in CT, and as Boomic realizes that he needs to up the tempo, does just that. And for Na'Vi now, at 7-4, this is where things get even scarier for Banka, who have to go down to an eco.
That's a flawless round there from Na'Vi as well. And remember how things started on Train. We saw it nice and contentious, really close in the opening sort of 6 or 7 rounds. Then Na'Vi just stole the show. We ended up with an 11-4 half off of the back of being sort of 4-3. We might see the same here. Beautiful shot there from Simple. Connects onto C-Power. It's no kill, though. It only does 97 damage. So C-Power very narrowly gets away with his life there. BankaPEPSI over on Train. They were able to pull it back while being 14-4 down. I'm not sure if we see a repeat of that, though. Right here, they're certainly looking like they're struggling. And as they've gone for a force in the 12th, if they lose it, Na'Vi could be good for 9, because they'll have to be on an eco in the next.
I don't know how I feel about this force, to be honest, Josh. I think it was brave, but unfortunately, brave isn't what you want now. It's smart, and Bits just pushing up short, supported by Boomich. They just delete the entire defense, and with Banka with a few players in mid to respond where they can, it's just not enough. With Lime falling, it's all on Problem in a 1v5, and he too may just have to hide and pray that Na'Vi don't catch them off.
And you know, these flawless rounds are working wonders for Na'Vi's economy. If they're taking damage in these kind of rounds, they're having to reinvest, and there might not be too much money behind them. Having back-to-back rounds where they keep all 5 players alive means that other than a bit of util here and there, nobody has to reinvest. That gives them an opportunity to push themselves onto 6, 7k. What that means is that when they're 8-4 up and they have to go up against the bye, going into these final rounds of the half, they'll be able to reinvest. They won't be strapped for cash at any point. A couple of people have addressed the fact that C-Power's got a Forza picture.
I was wondering
now,
that.
I'm thinking about this too. I thought he left Forza, and I thought that was a permanent move. There's maybe a chance that maybe he's still on the bench for them or something. I'm really not too sure. I know they've got Kenzie in on the AWP, and he's been really good with it recently. He's actually been... Or is it... Wait, is it Kenzie or Zorte who's AWPing?
Zorte.
Is it Zorte? Sorry, that's a big mistake from me. Zorte is on that AWP. He's the young man, very, very talented player. He's been really, really good over on Forza with that sniper. But yeah, I'm not sure if C-Power's on the bench or if he just hasn't changed his Steam picture or something. I'm really not too sure. But it's interesting. It is definitely an interesting one.
That it is, and either way, it could be his contract hasn't expired yet. As Boomich peeks in mid, does a lot of damage to these members on the other side of these doors. Through the doors, can't quite get the kill, but the damage is looking to be cumulative, with killing from Problem both so low on HP. Na'Vi, who once again braced for a hit straight up short, just going to be easily able to get the site. It will be down to Banka to either go for a few exits and/or maybe just push for a retake and kill 1 or 2 members. Yeah,
but just these pistols in hand, Na'Vi are looking for just a comfortable and clean 9th here, and Simple. He's going to kick off proceedings, finding that first, sticking around as well up against his USPs, playing a dangerous game, but Lime charging into him. Simple only good for 1. That's going to drop the bomb, but it looks like that might be the only casualty they take. Electronic takes a couple of taps, and he falls away. He knows that the flank's coming in, so he doesn't have to aggress too hard right now. The issue is they have lost the bombs. They do have to fight here. Ordinarily, they'd fall away. They wouldn't want anything to do with this. But having the C4 in that position, they do have to take the gunfights, but they win them all regardless. The last 2 rounds, they've not taken any casualties. In this one, they take a single casualty, which puts them at around about 10k apiece. So a very comfortable position here for Na'Vi as they go into the 14th. And for BankaPEPSI, whilst they're on a bye, C-Power's on that Scout instead of the AWP, Lin on a FAMAS instead of the M4. It's not great.
It's not, and for a 9-4 scoreline, BankaPEPSI are definitely strained here. Simple with another auto sniper, Josh. I mean, if it doesn't work on Train, try again now. Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely viable. When you've got so much money like this, you can just afford to buy one just to spam through the doors and then throw it away. Obviously, that old Fnatic strat where they went for the AWPs is that strat you go for when you're on 5 figures, there's a couple of rounds left of the half, and you say, do you know what, screw it. Yeah, we can go for AWPs, we can go for auto snipers just to try and do some damage on the cross. And if it doesn't work out, we swap out to the rifles. Here for Simple, he's committing to this auto sniper. He wants to stick with this, and I like that. It's a powerful weapon in the right hands, and if utilized properly. With a minute 10 on this clock, still no damage dealt onto this defense. Electronics taking a tickle, so is Boomich. But they've taken quite a lot of control. Tunnels is theirs. Short's theirs. Tunnel is theirs, and Perfecto finally found the first head.
That was a clean shot, deleting his opponent there. And for Na'Vi, well, they are just fanned out. They're not even capitalizing off the back of that kill. They are just holding this default and waiting for BankaPEPSI to attempt to recover that man differential. But the auto sniper, this time it works. Kalinka, he's the first casualty here, and Simple, he wants to try and follow through. Unable to do so, though. Instead, Electronic, ready for Lin in long doors, and Na'Vi, they are just braced, ready, and expecting everything Banker attempts to do now.
It's looking like it might be another flawless round. Oh, no, Simple doesn't find the kill with that auto sniper, but Electronic, this is a freebie for him onto C-Power. Bit finding line elsewhere. It's going to go 10-4. Once again, we only see one man fall. That's Simple. As we go into the final of the half, we're actually going to see another auto sniper. Simple appears to have dropped one over, so I think they're going to go for some spams on the mid-cross. Unfortunately, they don't really have the spawn for it. Looks like they're going to go for it regardless, though. Why not? They've got loads of money. There we go. Perfecto's dropped an auto as well.
Oh,
I'm excited. I'm excited, Grammar.
He shoots it to his teammate. He then just bombs it to be the auto snipers. They start ringing out. No kill yet, and what on earth is Simple doing? I apologise if we just gave anyone an epileptic fit.
It's like a weird crouch spam. We saw this the other day as well, and we were trying to contemplate whether it was like a GoTV bug or whether it was actually a weird crouch bug. I can't remember who was doing it. But the fact that we've just seen it there from Simple, there's a chance that maybe it is some kind of weird crouch bug that we just haven't seen before.
Yeah, could be. He's lying. He hides over on a Eagle in hand. He has a little bit of support from his teammates. He actually has a molly and a smoke to system as well, the second he sees an execution. So for Electronic, can problem win this duel on long. If he loses this duel on long, that is the A site crumbling. If he doesn't, then we might see us hold further still. Ooh. Electronic, though, instantly executing his opponents, and with Perfecto killing Lin over in mid. Boomich, he's even expecting the rotation in CT any second now. Lion, he commits to it. Eventually he gets the kill, but on 19 HP, Na'Vi, they just go 11-4 up at the end of the half. Really strong stuff from them. Yeah,
really clean half. Once again, not too challenged. Same affair that we saw over on Train, and well, they just blitzed through it. Absolutely blitzed through it. And you know, we have the Twitch chat open, and we love sort of just reading through what you guys are saying. And, you know, Razvanica, he's broken up with his girlfriend today, Crummer. We hope you're okay, man. We hope you're okay.
Well, we're always here for you, man. And sometimes, you know, a fun story I was told by someone who has quite a positive outlook on life, which is a friend of mine once told himself, I'm going to get rejected 25 times before I find my dream girl. So when he over his life, when he's getting rejected, it's like, yes, 24 to go now. It's 23, and he's getting closer to finding that dream girl. It was quite a nice outlook to see. It might not be 25, might be less, but. And
then he got rejected 26 times, and that was it. His hope was gone.
To alcohol.
He spiraled into depression, and yeah.
Never heard from him again, actually, but hopefully he's all right. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But no, it's quite a positive outlook to have, and I think it's an outlook Banker might need at the moment, because Na'Vi are running them amok with what will be aggression in short now by Simple. Hiding in the Xbox smoke as that flash allows them to push forward. Electronic, oh, this is going to be perfect for Simple. Electronic baits them out. Simple on the flank. He's caught out by Problem, who turns around in the nick of time, though. Meaning that Boomich has to single-handedly hold the attack. And while he attempts to do so, he taps down what he can, but still no kill. Gives a man advantage to Banker in an afterplant position as well.
I mean, to be honest, throughout the mess of that, it's difficult to kind of read it, but the fact that Problem was able to turn around and watch that smoke's insane. What's even better is Perfecto's crispy headshots right now. He's found himself two. He's hungry for more, but as he falls in the 2-on-1, there's nothing more he can do. He drops, and we'll see BankaPEPSI take themselves to 5.
That was a really crisp pistol round from either side there. Really strong stuff, and well, Banker, with that pistol round, actually give themselves an opportunity to pull it back. Are we going to see a repeat of Train, Josh?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. I think that there's a chance that BankaPEPSI maybe pull off a few more rounds here, especially with quite the advantage on the firepower side of things. We could see it. We really could.
We really could indeed. And for BankaPEPSI, congregated in lower tunnels, and this is a default that really heavily favors both mid and lowers, so we know where they're going to be aiming to hit, and Electronic's taking so much damage through the wall there, falls to just 30 HP, and while the Praise rotation will come to assist him. Instead, we have Simple there to help him out. I'll say hi to this crush. It's really nice.
Yeah, it is nice. Well, Lime finding that opening headshot. No real surprise there, to be honest. There's not too much firepower behind Na'Vi right now. Of course, it's a force buy, but when you're on the CT side, you lose the pistol round. You haven't got too much behind that force buy, to be honest with you. Of course, Perfecto on that MP9. Couple of pistols here and there. But 11-5, looking like it should be made 11-6. And BankaPEPSI, they're just going for the control right now.
We both saw that at the same time. BankaPEPSI stacked up in short, prepared for a hit, and for Na'Vi, they needed that kill there from Electronic. Lime finishing the job shows that they're making their way up short. Boomich, he reads it there with that little peek, and unfortunately with Banka, or unfortunately with Na'Vi, with no one on A, the only hope they can look to stop this would be either a rotation from long with Boomich on this Galil, or two players going up short in the same process. Looks like we'll see just that. Line, or Lin even, if he wins this aim duel, then that should be a save from Na'Vi. If he loses it, we might see a comeback on our hands as Perfecto. He also falls. Great opportunity for Lin there. All on Boomich. You may just have to save this Galil. And someone asked to be your boyfriend because he broke up with their girlfriend today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. I have a girlfriend as well, Kremer, so maybe she's
really nice.
She is really nice, but she's in the way of mine, and I can't remember his name.
You can't remember his name, Josh? That's awful.
I'm sorry. I've lost it. I've lost the message.
It was right there.
Where?
It was right there. It was Fire Rat.
Oh, Fire Rat. Yeah, she's in the way of mine and Fire Rat's potential relationship.
Say the numbers.
Fire Rat 234. Yeah. No, 243, sorry.
Dear Lord, even with his name in front of you, you still mess it up, Josh.
Sorry, right. It's in purple, and purple is by far the hardest colour to read.
White names are superior. White names are so easy to read on the background of Twitch.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like we've got Twitch in dark mode, and purple, you just can't even see it.
Green's pretty good as well. Green's quite easy to read.
Yeah, green's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should rate the Twitch chat colours.
I mentally kind of, I don't say it loud, but I do rate usernames as well.
Yeah, we get some pretty funky ones.
We got some pretty cool ones. XQC casting again. I like how your voice is now associated with the XQC lookalike.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Do you know my favourite name? Rigged CS 123. He used to just come into all of our broadcasts and spam like.
Oh, rigged, yeah.
Yeah.
There's always one, isn't there? I feel like he's living up to his name as he does so, though.
Yeah, I suppose so. I think he's been banned now. I think he's got a new name, a new alias that he comes under.
There's some guy who's been like spamming about a banned HLTV thing, wasn't there? He was kind of poking out for the entirety of this. New one. Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
I don't think we have the power to unban him on HLTV either.
I searched that name on HLTV. He's not there.
He's not there. Unbelievable. Even if he was, we can't unban you.
Yeah, I'm saying, what platform are you after here? You're two guys who sit in their bedroom. Like,
people are still talking about the hot tub stream as well.
Hot tub stream. When's the hot tub stream? That's a really good question. When is our hot tub stream?
You know, my parents have a hot tub at home. We could go back to mine at some point, and we could do a hot tub stream. It's like a really nice hot tub as well. Yeah. And there's a nice view behind it, so it's really cool. We could do a proper hot tub stream.
A proper hot tub stream. I mean, you've got a nice camera set up and everything. We could out hot tub stream the hot tub streamers.
Do you know what? Soon, folks. For anyone that's asking, soon. Hot tub stream soon.
Yeah, it will. She's really. I should elaborate on that. She has literally just been feeding us like entirety. Neither of us have bothered to cook.
Yeah,
she's been great. Yeah, it's what else have we seen here? Of course, that eco's pretty quickly cleaned up there. Yeah, that's do your best Anders UK impression. I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah, I don't think we've got the voice for that one.
We don't. Tell you what, we do have the voice for. That's for describing how Na'Vi have hit their next buy.
Well, it's 7-11, and at this point, I'm quite excited because for BankaPEPSI, they're in a bit of a weird position. Over on Train, they were 14-4 down, and it was a little too late, I feel. They went for a brilliant comeback, but because they didn't take enough rounds on their first half, and they didn't take enough rounds in the first few rounds of the second half, it was too little too late. It was a brilliant comeback, but they didn't leave themselves enough margin for error. Whereas right now, they're in a position where whilst Na'Vi had a brilliant first half, with BankaPEPSI winning the pistol and then pulling further away from that as well, we're sitting 7-11. There's a potential chance that they could maybe win this next, and we could see the scoreline tie up. It's looking pretty close right now. Na'Vi coming in hot into the 19th round, but with that trade, 4 versus 3, minute left on this clock, there's still a chance here for the T side.
Kalinka, low HP though, means that he needs to really be in this back line. He needs to be as far away from danger as possible. And for Na'Vi, with this and a loose setup, they've completely negated mid. They don't want to. They want to stick together. They want to be in positions where they can trade one another and hold that man advantage. And as they do so, Kalinka, he's going to be a chance to shift up short, looking to duel Na'Vi where they can. And instead, for Electronic, flashes over the palm tree, keeps them back, and as Electronic flashes, that was really just actually to see that as Boomich, he looks the hole, the body forces him back, was really low HP now, means that Electronic has to go huge. Luckily for him, Electronic does just that. 12 for Na'Vi, and at that stage we see something where actually Banka, with limited money, if they lose this, they're going straight down to a eco, and for Na'Vi that's where they hit 13, 14, that's where they start to close out the game, as Banka will be left in a lot of trouble.
Absolutely, yeah. If they can win this round, that's the key factor right now. BankaPEPSI, they've still got some money behind them. They've won a fair few in a row, but they've taken casualties in said rounds. So they're in a position where they can go for a buy here. If they lose it, then they're down to the eco. And as you say, we will see Na'Vi pull it rather close to the finish line. Right now, though, BankaPEPSI, they've just walked straight into the B site. This is a very weird configuration from Na'Vi. I've never seen a retake B setup on the CT side on a buy round, and that's the plan right now. And it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. With Bit finding that opening, they do have a man advantage. There's no util left on BankaPEPSI, so these positions will be vulnerable. But I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about this.
Z-Power's kill onto Simple makes it even tougher for them. The util damage makes it doable, but doable to an extent. You still need the kills, and we look how far away Bit is. I suspect it is just to save it. BankaPEPSI, off only a single casualty, are going to make it 8, and for Na'Vi, now it's just a matter of finding some exits and trying to inflict some economic damage, but the worry for them is that if they do that, they're opening themselves up to die as well, and they too don't have much money at all here. There's a flash into the site, and a potential retake on hand for Perfecto, maybe considering a Ninja, but I don't really know what that was for there from Perfecto.
I'm really not sure either. I'm not too sure what Na'Vi's game plan was there. I mean, going for retake B, it's crazy. It's not a setup that you see very often. I think they were really banking on mid control there from BankaPEPSI, or maybe some kind of aggression towards A. And I'm quite surprised by these map 2 winner odds. I'll be perfectly honest. It's very, very one-sided, while BankaPEPSI are looking really strong. So we'll have to wait and see. If you fancy BankaPEPSI's chances of pulling this one back, remember, they're only 4 rounds behind. Then make sure you head over to our partners over at Parry Match to place your bets. Click that banner down below, get that first-time deposit bonus, and try your luck. Of course, there's plenty more matches to bet on here over at the Epic League as well. We've still got lots of CS to come.
Man, it is. And Banka getting a man down there, instant kill from Electronic there, makes it very comfortable for them. Banka, they now fall back to what works. That was a hit towards B last round. There was no trade from Na'Vi where it came, and for Na'Vi, now as they not so much go for a retake setup, but having left mid, have to go for information. For Bit, he's going to be the point of contact, and while we await for this point of contact to follow through, Banka, all 4 members in upper tunnels. This is where we see an execution. Bit, can he stop them? Going 16 to 10, he's had a relatively good game. We'll see the execution. That counter flash should delay them momentarily, but the nade also has to chime in. Perfecto good for 1. Bit to trade. Perfecto good for 2. Can he make it 3 on Z-Power? Yes, he can. Clean round from Na'Vi, only taking 1 casualty. And at 13 to 8, that was exactly when they needed that round, as their economy gets the injection it's been direly after.
And BankaPEPSI's is rather broken. Of course, winning these last few rounds, winning pretty much every single round since Pistol, they do not have a loss bonus. In fact, they're on a $1,400 loss bonus, which is the absolute minimum. So for Problem, he's got no money behind him whatsoever. A couple of his teammates have got a little bit of cash behind them, so they could maybe go for a force buy here. We'll see a few AKs, but he'll be down to that pistol. We'll see Lin probably on a Galil, maybe a Mac 10, something like that, if he wants to prioritize that utility, which I suggest he does. Oh, instead we do see that Galil. This is a shaky buy. This is a shaky buy, and it's almost a bit of a last hurrah. If they win it, then there's a chance they can keep this gap close. If they lose it, then we see Na'Vi get onto 14. BankaPEPSI will be on a definite eco, and that's where Na'Vi should be able to close this one.
At 13-8, Na'Vi are looking pretty damn hungry here. If they shut down this buy from Banka, a buy which was ambitious, to say the least, is going to be a... Well, it needs to get the mileage. And Z-Power, he'll look to deliver with a push up mid. He's spotted out by Perfecto, but Perfecto, position which can be abused. Simple on the flank is good for Kalinka. This is also after Electronic falls. We see Bit now, who's unable to read the push coming out of tunnels, and because of that, he's swarmed on all sides. Good for one, switches the USP, unable to trade as Z-Power finishes the job, leaving us in a 2-on-3 retake for Na'Vi, in which they may just have to save here.
Crummer, people are paying for highlighted messages to say you're hot.
I feel
you get them too.
I know, it's nice to get them too. Are we doing all the games on Epicenter? We're doing a few of them. I think we have like a stint now where I think we're doing it for the next 4 days. We're doing the entirety of the Oceania one.
Yeah, if you like early mornings, then we're doing all the Aussie games. But yeah, we're doing a fair few of the CIS ones. As Crummer says, we're on today, we're on tomorrow, and then we're on from the 24th to the 30th. So we're on a fair few games. Yeah. And yeah, that should be a good fun one. Someone asked if I wear cute skirts and thigh-high socks. I don't tend to, no.
I feel like if anyone here was to be a twink, it would be you.
Probably, yeah, but that doesn't mean I am.
you make a valid point. 13. There's only 4 rounds in it, Josh.
It's close. It's been close throughout. Yeah,
it's very close. And Na'Vi, who at this stage are feeling the confidence of, okay, yeah, we're just a hop, skip, and a jump away from winning. Banka, who are feeling the confidence of, we can actually come back. That round there was actually a very clean one. They just traded well and just took a sight. Na'Vi, the saved weapons mean the reinvestment is going to come out. For Banka, can that reinvestment stop them? We'll have to see, because there's not an expense that's been missed on Na'Vi, but because of that, it's nuked their economy.
Yeah, I mean, anyone here that's sort of played CS competitively or semi-competitively in some kind of team or whatever will know that when you're playing against a team that are just much better than you and you're the underdogs in a match and you're putting up rounds, the adrenaline that goes through you is absolutely nuts. You're just feeling it. You say, do you know what? We're keeping this contentious. We're putting up rounds against a side that should be steamrolling us, and it gives you a hell of a lot of confidence. And right now, C-Power is feeling that confidence. On this AWP, on a really tight angle, a little bit of a gap through that smoke to maybe work with. But as further utils deployed, it's Boomich to take him down. A brilliant opening there for Na'Vi. And having taken no damage and the short control, they're in a very powerful position here.
Simple with just a head angle now to fight Banka as they peek up from long. So they do so. Problem, the man to lead discharge. Simple though, the man to get the first attack. Line to full. Trade not there yet either with 5-on-3 after plant. Simple, he needs that smoke to stay up. The second it falls, he's going to be open season for these members. And he peeks to the ramp. Timing doesn't quite favour him as he's tagged down by Kalinka. He falls. Electronic to trade. Problem, well, he gets the next say in the matter. There's still a man down. With 15 seconds left, they need to commit to a plant and quickly. Problem falling means that little be out of money anyway and out of time. Because of that, he falls. Na'Vi at 14-9 means that Na'Vi are in a perfect position.
Very, very close to closing this one out. BankaPEPSI once again have put up a really, really good fight. But they've not been able to tip it over the top. And for Na'Vi, I think this could be the beginning of the end. BankaPEPSI's economy, it's broken. They go into the Desert Eagles. They go for that Galil. If they lose this one, then we'll see Na'Vi onto match point. BankaPEPSI once again on a shaky force. Oh, that's awkward. Flashes either way. For us, through our rose-tinted goggles, we see just how close they are, but Problem able to find both. One with the fire, one with the bullets, and BankaPEPSI might have life left in them.
BankaPEPSI, if there ever was a time to deliver like that, that was it. And for Z-Power, on mid-doors, does he have the timing to duel these members, or is he just going to be killed when they peek around to the corner? Unfortunately, timing does not favour him. Bits with the kill. means they're able to peek into the long hold, and as they do just that, Na'Vi get ready for the push-up short, and as they do so, they might even be able to hit this retake in time. With mollies on both Simple and Bit, they're going to be able to respond onto these members. There's that initial molly center sight. That should delay a plant from Kalinka. Instead, Simple with the first kill. Lin to full, 3-on-3. Bomb goes down. Can it be held, though? The further mollies go down to Goose to keep it clear. Perfecto to lead the charge, spots out another member, but Lime gets the kill. The nades, they continue to land around their opponents. Perfecto good for another. Perfecto, low HP on Lime. He's not quite able to capitalize off the damage he's done. He sees the other player on long, though. Lime, kill onto Simple. Leaves Perfecto in a 1 versus 2. Make that a 1v1. Center sight now, as he has the dual problem for this round. Again, beats the other side, taps that bomb, turns away, holds the defuse, and now he tries to stick it. Peek from problem in the nick of time. He stops the defuse, and he brings Banka their 10th. I think he's run out of channel points.
Oh, man. There's not much else you can redeem channel points for other than highlighted messages, I don't think. Like, there are some channels where you can do some crazy stuff. You talked earlier about endpoint. If you get, what was it, 100k?
100k channel
100k
points.
channel points. They like fly you out to their boot camp and stuff, and you get to be there. It's really cool. But either way, Na'Vi, money broken. AWP on Simple, Perfecto with that M4, everybody else on the pistols, and my goodness, Kalinka's spray transfer there was beautiful. Unfortunately, it doesn't finish off Electronic as he stays alive with a mere 1 HP. But still the man advantage, and still quite a substantial advantage here for BankaPEPSI, as Na'Vi, they're on this force buy. If they lose it, then we'll be in a position where BankaPEPSI could potentially make it 12.
They could. Simple brings out a shot early on. No trade yet, though, and with no kill either. He may just have to back away and save this orb. It looks like he'll do just that, and because of that, Simple, again, just fades away. Na'Vi, they just have to go save. Because of that, Banka come out on top. We've got someone. That's a really nice message from a guy in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
That's quite sweet.
I mean, as much as we love the send feet pics and you guys are cute and stuff, a nice heartfelt message from the Netherlands. I love it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that was lovely. It makes us feel warm and gooey inside.
Whatever, Creamer.
Here's the thing. Creamer's my stripper name.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it could be my stripper. Could be, is. I think there's a thin line between the two. But
When you say stripper name, does that stripper name ever come into practice? Or is it
don't
just
ask
a
questions.
theoretical
Don't ask
stripper
questions
name?
you don't want to know the answer to, Josh.
Fine.
I have to pay to get here somehow.
Alrighty, well, this scoreline's getting rather close, folks. It's 14-11, and it's very similar to what we saw over on Train. However, over on Train, Na'Vi were on map point. This time they're one away from it, so there's still a chance that Banka could maybe take this in regulation. They have got the economic advantage. They've got cash behind them. Over on Na'Vi, they don't have the same luxury. They saved a couple of weapons in that last round, but it does only mean that there's pistols around it. Bit over-investing ever so slightly, but with the loss bonus, he can somewhat justify it. For Perfecto, the aggression, it works out beautifully. Man advantage taken. Electronic hoping he can get aggressive into lower tunnels. He's punished, and we go into a 4-on-4.
Boom Mitch on the other side of this wall is finished off. Simple in the bait and switch. This is the first shot. He's been given a chance to ring out a second, and because of that, he's able to get away. Instead, it's all down to Bits. The only man without a rifle. He'll hear every single Banka member come towards him. Can his CZ ring true? Yes, it can. Good for one. Drops down, turns around, make it 2 onto Lin there, leaving it all onto Kalinka. 1 versus 3 for the lone man, and suddenly Bits. That's easy. It has this nasty tenacity to bite. However, Kalinka's AK, the same problem from the flank. Perfecto gets the kill. And just like that, Na'Vi, they hit 15 with a wonderful performance there.
Really, really solid stuff. 15-11, as you say, Cranmer, just around. As soon as you think, do you know what? BankaPEPSI have got a chance of pulling this one back, making this happen. Na'Vi just pull out absolute heroics. And it's absolutely incredible. BankaPEPSI, they've still got money behind them. We see that AWP, we see 3 AKs, we see a Galil there from Problem. Util behind them too. Not too much presence for this B site though. Once again, they're playing this weird retake configuration. It's very vulnerable. And if Problem realizes it, then Na'Vi could be in trouble.
Bit in mid-doors, dancing a brave dance as he hides on the angle. Instead, he aggresses onto the line, digs him down, unable to get the trade though. And instead, this leaves Banka with a man advantage, one they look to wield as they push up short. The flashes in mid though try to keep Simple at bay, but rather than keep him back, they just invigor him to push further forward towards the other side of the smoke. No trade yet though, and instead Na'Vi, who set up on A once again, I wait to see what Banka do next.
Lime, very low on health, but the fact that they've got the man advantage is rather powerful right now, with Simple holding this angle. Trying to play a bit of a one-way through the smoke. Boomic gets aggressive. That doesn't merit him anything. Of course, losing the early advantage, losing control towards short, somewhat encourages him to take control back elsewhere, and it just doesn't work out for him at all. Simple, it falls onto his shoulders right now. Really the last line of defense on this A-bomb site, and the nades time perfectly.
30 seconds left now. Electronic and Simple both hit their kills, but Kalinka does the same. Can there be a trade from Electronic as he tries to get it to site in the nick of time? But as he does so, he cowers, he hides, he awaits the follow-up, and Kalinka, having just seen his head, didn't react for a very long time there. Eventually finishing the job, allows the trade from Perfecto and Long, but taking a long duel against an AWP, that is just brave. And realizing that, he turns around and he hightails it out of there. BankaPEPSI with 12 now, really close to the distance between Na'Vi and trying to maybe even lead us to overtime. It's also what county or which country? I assume it was county.
Where? Oh, wait, was that highlighted?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Country.
Country.
We're both English.
Yeah, we're both English, both from the UK.
Oh, Crocs. Crocs all the way. Come on, man.
What's your favourite type of bread? You know, tiger bread.
I like baguettes.
Rubbish. That's disgraceful. Tiger bread. I like tiger
You
bread.
can get tiger bread baguettes.
Yeah, but tiger bread loaves are way better. I got a loaf of tiger bread today.
We did, actually. That looks really nice. I'll ask them later. We'll see.
It's big.
So something that has been weighing on my mind is I got us a you know, the caterpillar cakes you can get.
Yep.
I got them without realizing that I was the only one who ate them.
I like caterpillar cakes.
why you let me be the only one who eats it? Because every time I have a slice, it kind of works on my mind of, Grandma, you're the only one eating this. All of this like lack of cake, this is your fault. And it's like psychological warfare against myself.
No, I'll help you eat the caterpillar cake,
Oh,
bro.
thank
Don't you worry.
Josh.
Don't you worry.
Thank you. God's work.
Yeah, it's weird. My girlfriend doesn't like chocolate cake. Who'd have known? Yeah. Who'd have known? Na'Vi right now on a very shaky buy. Of course, see a couple of deagles, a CZ. And interestingly, this is a full investment. They are mismanaging their economy a little bit right now. And I don't want to kind of push it on them too much because, do you know what? They're still in the lead. They've still got a couple of chances to close. But going for this force buy, if they lose it, Banka will be on to 13. They'll be allowed a freebie in the next. And then we're playing 15-14. We're playing that overtime game. And I feel like, bearing in mind, Na'Vi had such a huge lead. That's a crazy position for them to be in.
Yeah, that it is. Boomic, he goes aggressive on short now. Flashed by his teammate as he does so. He sits on the other side of the smoke, dives out from it. Z-Power the first to fall. He can't double down though. Electronic can though. Kill of his own. Good for two. Kalinka to trade. Now becomes a 1v1 and with Bit on the flank, it leaves it all on to Kalinka now. Low HP. Bit on the jump spot. Unable to get the kill. With just 5 bullets in the chamber. He only needs 1. Just like that, we see Bit following through when with that Na'Vi. They take the game 16-12. A really strong round from them. And, well, you wondered why they forced by? That's why.
Unreal. A round that they had very, very little equity in. But do you know what? They're given a run for their money. I'm pretty impressed with BankaPEPSI. The fact that they were able to take it 16-11, 16-12, they put up a better fight than some of the stronger opponents that Na'Vi have faced up against. And I'm rather impressed with that. They put up a much better fight than they did up against Team Spirit. And bearing in mind they're 75th in the world, playing against number 2 in the world, the fact that they kept those games close and entertaining definitely is one for the good books. Now, what do you think about that series, Kramer? How are you feeling about Na'Vi moving forward? Of course,